You ready? 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. You're literally in like a choir program at your school constantly. You can't join me in this?
I didn't know what we were doing.
That's fair. That's very fair. So Timothy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Right now, it's 72 degrees.
A perfect 72 degrees day.
Oh, wow.
All right, Alexa.
I wonder why it's blazing hot.
Well, you never know. But we're in our certain man cave right now, just getting ready to talk about the biggest and maybe best movie of all time. So, Timothy, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Avengers Endgame. That's right, not Infinity War. Not
The war is over.
the first. Yeah, it's Avengers Endgame.
The tomb is open. The stone was rolled away.
Yes, Jesus has risen, and the Avengers. Yes, it was good.
All right, let's not compare Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, to a movie. Come on, Timothy.
Well, look who's talking.
Well, you know, like we say, if the left foot fits, then the shoe doesn't fit. So
Well-
I saw Endgame this Thursday night with like a full packed crowd, like everyone screaming and freaking out constantly. And then I saw it yesterday, Friday night, with my dad, and someone brought like a 2-year-old baby who was just like whining like during like 5% of it. It was really funny and weird because there's a 2-year-old like. He slept through all the action sequences, and at the end, like when like a certain thing happens, he's just like wah wah. I'm like, dude, like, did you like are you about to die of terminal cancer, and you have to bring your baby? Like, this is my last chance to see Endgame. Oh, and spend time with my child. Oh, two birds with one stone. But that was interesting. So, Timothy, when did you see Avengers Endgame?
I saw it Thursday night at 10 p.m. about 3 hours after Drew had just seen it. So,
Well, it's not a competition, but if it was, I'd
Yeah.
win.
Well, you did win, actually. Normally, I would have seen it first, but I had college, so
Nice.
some people actually focus on their career. But
Well, let's move on. Yeah,
so funny.
we're getting right into it. I think it's best if we go kind of beat by beat because we can just talk about how good it was. But just generally, like, this is maybe the best movie I've ever seen, like the most crowd pleasing. I mean, Last Jedi, I feel like I could just feel the heat and people going like boo, and like
Yeah,
maybe The Force Awakens, we saw that together where everyone's just wooing constantly.
that
but
movie was just absolutely terrible.
great opinion so far, but just like everyone in the theater was yelling and just freaking out because some awesome stuff was happening. Like, I mean, when my kid asked me like 30 years from now, like, "Hey, Drew, hey, Dad, where were you when Force Awakens came out?" I'm like, "Screw that, kid, get out of here. We're talking about Avengers Endgame." He's like, "Dad, I love you. I don't care. Avengers Endgame is the best movie of all time."
Mhm.
But like, that's my opinion on it. Like, what did you think of it?
I mean, if it weren't for the beginning, I mean, the whole beginning part was just really, really slow. But, like, the end, yeah. I mean, no doubt this was the best Marvel movie they've made and they're ever going to make. They're not going to be able to top this one.
It just,
It's just too good. I mean, everyone coming in at the end, spoiler alert, but everyone coming in at the end. I mean,
The
come on,
biggest-
Captain America lifting Thor's hammer.
yeah,
I mean, that was just...
I know there's been like Citizen Kane, like, oh, this is amazing masterpiece. Oh, The Revenant, amazing
Mm-hmm.
cinematic masterpiece. But like, this is like the biggest moment, like that. Like, you know, at the end, just jumping to it now, we'll just mention it. But like that happening, I was like, that's gotta be one of the biggest cinematic moments like ever. Like that of Braveheart or someone else that came out before we were born.
Some of the loudest moments I've ever heard in a theater
People screaming.
came from that movie. And
Yeah.
some of the quietest moments came from that movie. So, like, I mean, it was crazy. Like, you know, people clapped when R2-D2 came out, but I mean, when the Black Panther came out, I mean, people opened up their beers and started like throwing them in the air. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
like people were like, "Yeah!"
Wakanda forever.
And I'm telling you, the loudest the movie theater ever was when Tom Holland entered the
oh
scene.
man, he's a dreamboat.
As soon as he entered, I'm like, all the girls are thinking, "Oh, he's totally dateable again."
I mean,
Thank goodness.
he's no Blake Porter. I mean, Andrew
Mm.
Garfield. But like,
Yeah.
you know, he's up there. I'll
I
admit
mean,
it.
it was loud. Like when he came out, the girls were crying.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, they really
they're
were.
swooning, man. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, it was. But can you blame him?
Eh, what
Yes,
can you do?
I can.
Well,
But, I mean,
well, they're British. What are you gonna do? We're getting invaded here. We need some help.
True.
But let's just go right into beat by beat because like there's just so much to talk about in this 3-hour and 1 minute long movie.
Whew.
Like I was talking,
Goodness.
I was talking to your family a little bit beforehand. Like I was wondering, like people like your mom, like I assume like she's not like super into this as much as like you and I are, for example. Like is that safe to
No,
assume?
she
or-
could have cared less.
Yeah, but like I imagine for like if someone's like mom has to take their 8-year-old to this, like a 3-hour movie, that's pretty long for like someone who's not a fan, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Well, did you hear about my dad told me before he went and watched this movie, he looked up specific scenes
to
when
pee.
to go pee.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I didn't even know those existed, but when I heard this movie was 3 hours, I was like, "Give me that phone. I got to
Yeah.
figure this out," you know? I mean,
It's a long movie, but like it's the end, you know? Like
yeah.
like if the end movie was 2 hours and 5 minutes, like I wouldn't like Infinity War was 2 hours and like 32 minutes, something like that maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
But like yeah, for the end, like I didn't mind. Like at this
Mhm.
point, like I don't think anyone on Thursday night during the premiere minded.
I don't think any of us went into the movie like, "Oh crap, this movie's 3 hours.
I got
got
pee.
school the next morning. Oh
I
my
got
gosh."
kids, man. I got
Yeah.
kids.
I don't think any of us were doing that. We're like 3 hours. Thank goodness. You know, I want
Yeah.
to stay in this movie forever.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into the story here. So it opens up like Iron Man's playing a game with Nebula, which I feel like Nebula's pretty cool because she hasn't really gotten a lot to do, but she got a lot of lines. She was like a major player in this movie. I appreciate that. But like them flicking the like doing that looked like it was even like tinfoil paper, like space paper, like they were playing with. Like that
Well,
was so good.
I think the funniest part was the opening of the movie. Well, the first part
Oh,
is
it's
Hawkeye's
Hawkeye's,
family
right, yeah.
disappears. But I
Being
mean, moving on
Thanos.
from that, I thought it was so funny when Iron Man just starts closing his eyes. And of course, we're all expecting him to die at some point in the movie. And I looked at Steven, my
Like,
younger brother. I was like,
this is gonna be a short movie.
Are they just going to rip off the Band-Aid already? Just get it done right now? And then
Slowly dies of cancer in the vacuum of space. Oh wow, I didn't see this coming.
I was like, wow, I didn't know they wanted to make us cry before the actual end of this movie.
But before we're about to say it happens, going back to Hawkeye real quick, when there's some theories that like since like Captain Marvel talked about like bringing scrolls into
let's
the
just get this over
oh
with.
no bringing scrolls into the fold. Some people say that has some crazy theories that like Hawkeye's like wife is a scroll, and it might be proof because she said, "Do you want mustard on your hot dog?" Only an alien would ever want to put mustard on a hot dog. Like, what kind of space criminal is she where she wants, yeah, let's put mustard on this weird human food, you know? Like, who puts mustard on a hot dog? Am I right?
I feel like a lot of people do that.
That's just wrong.
I went to a sleepover party and everyone put mustard on their hot dog. I
Well,
don't think
I mean,
that's very alien.
that was a junior KKK meeting, so let's not get too far. But going back,
it was a bunch of 12-year-olds at an after-school sleepover.
well,
but-
they do get excited in that community.
well, I mean, I guess so.
So yeah, you go ahead. You were
I mean, that's kind of a ridiculous theory, but I mean, if it's true,
that means his kids
that'd
are
be
half
crazy.
scroll.
yeah,
That'd be
Well,
crazy.
that means for a guy who can, spot out targets from miles away, he
Yeah,
sure
the-
is oblivious.
The ultimate Shakespearean target he never saw.
well,
But you go.
I don't know,
Yeah, so
man.
Iron Man got saved by
Yeah, Captain
Marvel!
Marvel.
Captain Marvel shows up to save him. Like did they CGI him, make him look like really crappy and old and like all
Yeah.
like hungry and stuff? Like he looked
Mhm.
hungry.
Look just really, really skinny.
Yeah, but Iron Man mistakes Rocket for a Build-A-Bear, which I appreciated because like Iron Man has a lot to fill in with all the stuff happening on Earth. You know, like
Yeah.
they've been separated for a while there, like for at least a few weeks, I believe. But when like Iron Man told Cap, like, Cap, we were supposed to have a shield around the Earth, but then you decided to have your own Civil War movie. Oh, how good for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, nothing stopped Tony from building 1,000 Iron Man suits to protect the world in the first place. But I mean, like, he's right. I mean,
Well, I mean, I told myself walking in this movie, I said, no matter what political crap they put in this movie, I will not let it ruin this movie for me.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to enjoy this movie.
and we'll talk about some of that stuff
It'll
later.
be my last Marvel movie I watch.
What? And
Yeah.
we'll have that discussion later on. I
Mhm.
can't wait to talk about that. Like, honestly, I didn't know what to expect from this movie, but, like, yeah, like, by the 15-minute mark, like, we're going to go kill that son of a beep, and then they, dun, dun, dun. Like, they're all traveling in space. They get to Thanos' planet. Like, he's, like, full Two-Face now. He's, like, when he explains, like, oh, I destroyed the Infinity Gauntlets, like, did you see that coming? Because, I'm like, that makes complete sense. Like, of
Yeah.
course he would destroy the one thing that could reverse
That could-
everything.
yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, if he had kept him alive, they could have gone and tried getting the time stone and reverse everything, which I'm kind of curious why they didn't do that in the movie.
Like, you mean
just go after the time stone
and then
reverse everything.
yeah, I did kind of question that.
But then I realized, well,
because
I guess they don't really have Doctor Strange who knows how to use it.
but also these are all like MacGuffins, where it's like, everyone's looking for them and everyone's trying to catch them all,
Yeah.
Pokemon style.
I mean, personally, I'm not going to lie. What I thought was going to happen in the beginning of the movie when he said they have become atoms, like these things have become atoms, I thought the next step was Ant-Man was going to come back and they were going to turn him to like that size and just start piecing them back together.
Oh.
Kind of. Just because they were in the atoms. I was like, that's kind of what Ant-Man does, you know? He can shrink beneath, you know, the molecules and atoms and stuff. So I thought he was just going to go in and start doing it.
That'd be a weird turn.
It would be, but then
Just
they were
becomes a
like,
Pokemon game and-
time travel. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh crap!
So,
it's the Flash
so yeah,
2.0.
They so Thanos, Thor cuts off Thanos' head, one clean chop. He cuts off his hand, which we wanted in the last movie. Then he cuts off his head, like we wanted in the last movie. And he says, "I went for the head." What do you think about that? That was sick.
I mean, that was fun, but then it was like, well,
Guess
he's
we're screwed.
dead.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Short movie, like they cut to black. I'm like, okay, time to go. That was a really short movie. And
Yeah.
Me and Dad, my dad both faked the same joke at the same time.
I mean, I just had no idea where they were going with it. They killed Thanos, and I was
Yeah.
like,
pretty graphic
well,
for like,
okay
this is
then.
probably the most graphic movie for like the classic like PG-13 Marvel movie. You know, like a guy got his throat
I mean,
slit.
I would say Captain Marvel was, but I mean, honestly, all she did was destroy a few ships. So I was like, oh, okay then.
Okay, women, am I right?
Oh,
It's cut to black 5 years later. That's so dark. It's so crazy. I didn't see that coming. Did you?
Yeah, just 5 years later of just
People
wow,
being sad. and
everyone's dead.
everyone is dead.
Trillions
Like-
dead, and they all had those big tombstones with all the people
That's a
written
lot of
on it.
names. Like there aren't enough tombstones for like half of the population of San
That's,
Francisco.
that's why they had like 30-foot tombstones.
Yeah, they'd be
just
so
with
high.
thousands of names on them.
Millions of names live in San Francisco alone. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
That was crazy.
just imagine what that would do to like our economy and stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
like just like
Which is why everyone knows Thanos is so stupid. It's like, oh, if I kill off half the planet, the rest will
thrive.
It's like,
No.
you're you're an idiot.
If you cut off half a snake, the other one dies too. I mean,
Yeah.
what's your plan here, pal?
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, it's so sad. Everyone's so depressed. But then a rat single-handedly saves the universe by bringing Ant-Man back. Some people are like, that is the best rat in the world. Like, I mean,
But it took
It's
5
5
years for
years,
that
yeah.
rat to finally do it.
I don't know, man. Lucky, very lucky.
Yeah.
But it's so smart, like just plot-wise. There's so many smart plot-wise things in this movie. But to have a thing, like it's a classic thing like in time travel movies or anything like that, where like there's a guy who comes back who's like kind of acts as the audience of like, oh, I don't know what's been happening for the last 5 years. Hey, random stranger, can you tell me what it is? And the guy's like, oh, where have you been for the last 5 years? Hey, I'm a New Yorker. I'm walking here.
People are dead. But,
Yeah.
but nothing much other than that.
Yeah,
Tony Stark as a kid, but other than that.
we don't have any sports anymore, so we're all just killing each other. Stab.
Yeah, he killed off the whole entire Patriots team. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
real lost there, am I right? Bloody, stop winning the Super Bowl. I know sports.
So then we thought someone else was going to win the Super Bowl, and then every other team disappeared.
Am
so.
I right? But one thing I didn't like about Ant-Man's whole thing is that, like, he went to his daughter's house or whatever his house that used to be, and he finds his daughter. But, like, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, his daughter was, like, maybe 10, but now she's, like, 23 in this movie?
In Ant-Man and the Wasp, she looked like 6.
6, like,
And
pretty
in
young.
this movie, she looked 20.
Like 27. Like I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
Like did she time travel too? Like what happened to her?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, is this his wife? Did she dye her hair or something? Or his ex-wife? Did she dye her hair? Because I was like,
Get a facelift.
I was like, this girl is like 20.
When she's
what
like,
in the world?
when she's like, Dad, I'm like, wait, what? What?
I was like, this girl's as tall as this man now. What happened?
Yeah,
And then
'cause-
she's been living all alone.
I mean, they didn't even show like the her stepdad or whatever,
Yeah.
or his
Which-
ex-wife's husband or whatever.
So like she's been living all alone,
In the
no
same
one
house?
with her, and she's just like, yep. Yeah,
Hey,
just
good,
living alone.
good on her. She kept up the mortgage of that San
Yeah.
Francisco house that probably cost like a bunch of money a month. But
Yeah.
yeah, like maybe she was like 11 in the
Well, at
last.
this point, the cops were probably all dead, so they
Yeah.
couldn't come get her out.
So like maybe like she was 11 in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I feel like after 5 years she looked like she was like at least 18, right? Like she looked
Well,
old.
She looked. I mean, no matter what age she was in the beginning, She looked way older.
She had like a cane. She was like an old
Yeah.
woman. It was crazy. She was like, "Hey, Dad."
Yeah, I don't think they did that very well because that was like, it's been 5 years, not
It's like
20.
it's like the end of Interstellar. Where it's like, "Dad, you're here."
That's just
yeah,
like,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that means she would have to be like 12. She did not look 12 in this movie.
Yes, she did not.
Yeah.
But so Rocket makes fun of Captain Marvel's haircut. Like, what are you gonna do? Get a new haircut?
Captain America, yeah, he shaved the beard.
No. Oh yeah, by Harry's razors.
Unfortunately.
But Captain Marvel got a haircut too. What did you think of that? Her haircut.
I mean, it
Okay,
looked like the very typical.
Let's say our opinion in of one word. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. It's
Feminism.
terrible. Oh.
I mean, literally, that's the
They go hand in
epitome of
hand. I'm just kidding. No.
Female equality. You know, if we don't comb our hair, they shouldn't have to comb their hair. You know,
Hey,
that's exactly
if
what the haircut looked
women
like.
want what they want. Am I right?
Yeah.
But it was so. It was no. Okay, we're kidding. But like, I liked her original hair. But like, she looked like a really like I didn't like her new haircut. Like.
I don't know how she was supposed to do the mohawk with that haircut.
I know, but like I liked her original long hair. Like I don't know, and she should smile more too. I'm just kidding.
should.
She shouldn't.
She should smile
I was
more.
joking, but you're misogynist. Okay,
Thor's always smiling, and he's one of the most powerful. So I mean,
we're kidding.
even Hulk smiled more
We
in this
kid.
movie.
So why does Black Widow have weird
you
hair?
didn't have me last time.
Oh, yeah, okay then.
Oh.
Whoa. We're terrible. So
we are terrible.
Black Widow had new hair, but it looks like I told my sister this. It looks like because she had really short blonde hair in Infinity War. So did she grow out her red hair? So that means she still has the blonde tips of her normal red hair that grew out over the course of 5 years.
I don't know women, so
Is
I don't know what's
But
going
is
on
that
there.
because like
I mean,
of course like I'm pretty sure your hair grows way longer after that in 5 years. But like it looked like that was implied. I thought it was really silly and strange. You know.
I didn't really pay much attention to.
Yeah, you never
Black
pay attention
Widow.
to women. All right,
Well,
cool.
no,
so,
I just didn't pay much. There was only one spot I paid attention to, and that was a spot where she didn't
we know.
exist.
Oh yeah, good point.
I'll
So
get into that later because
so-
that was the big thing to me.
Widow's making a sandwich, which obviously means she's in depression because only losers make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Am I right?
Well,
like,
and then she's also like, "Oh, Hawkeye's going and killing the world," and it's like, Hawkeye's killing the world.
Why?
Oh, I lost my family. I better go kill all these Japanese. You know,
my parents are dead.
my parents are dead. I'm gonna kill.
I
them.
was a boy. Now I'm a bat.
Didn't you think that was weird though?
Like he just goes on a killing spree.
He loses his family, and so he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna go kill a bunch of Japanese
Now he's
people.
Batman. Now I mean,
Come on.
But
no, not even Batman. He's like
the Punisher. Like he's
like
wasting fools.
Yeah, he's just going. He's
Why?
just like, I have no idea.
I mean, he's killing all races, obviously, not just Japanese people. But like they mentioned, like the cartels or something in
well,
Mexico.
yeah, true. But I mean, they showed him just in. Well, it might have been China. I don't really know. I apologize for that. But
How
I don't know.
dare you.
I don't know where he was, but he was in some like Asian country, and he was. I mean, he's just like, oh, and then the guy was like, "Why are you doing this?" He was like, "Because I must." I don't know. It's like, dude, you lost your family.
You got
don't kill others.
You
know?
got nothing. I got Thanos. Oh, Slight, I'm killing you for no reason. Yeah.
Well, because you didn't lose your family, so I'm gonna kill you now. It's like, what the heck, man?
Okay, I guess.
So basically, he thought because Thanos killed off half the population, it was his goal to kill off
To
the
finish the
rest.
job.
To finish the job, kill off the rest.
Basically, Scott Lang gives you like, okay, guys, listen, time travel's possible, and like, there's a great line. Captain America's like, that sounds a lot like time travel, and he's like, it's not time travel, it's like quantum. Yeah, it's time travel. Because I didn't see that coming, man. Like, I mean, you're right. Like, as far as like the TV show The Flash goes, I feel like by season like 3 it got really complicated. Where it's like, oh yeah. So Barry went back, saved his mom, had an alternate timeline called Flashpoint, and then went back to the original timeline where everything's changed because of Flashpoint. So that means that Cisco's brother is dead and all this stuff. Well, I don't understand because it's really complicated.
Well, I love how in other time traveling movies, it's like when you do something to affect the past, it like ruins your future. But like in this movie, I mean, they did a whole bunch
Like,
of crap.
screw it. We're punching ourselves in the face in the past. We're strangling
They
babies.
didn't care. I mean, Captain America beat himself up.
We're talking to our dads, changing our own names in the future.
Yeah. And then I watched a review or something, and it was like, apparently they're just changing a timeline. They're altering. So basically,
Yeah.
that lady, the bald lady, when she was talking to the Hulk,
Tilda Swinton.
it didn't affect his past in this other timeline, like in the timeline they were in, apparently. So apparently, when they went back in the past, they just opened up new timelines. It was this
'cause-
weird thing. So apparently, no matter what they do, no matter what effect, they just affect that timeline. They don't affect their timeline.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second here, but
Which is kind of selfish at the end of the day.
yeah,
But then I was
so-
like, I guess that makes sense
Yeah.
because they ruined a whole bunch of crap. Like
yeah,
Loki's
I mean,
wandering
Loki's
around
gone,
somewhere.
terrorists are gone.
Yeah. No, going back to the time travel with Hawkeye. My thing was, okay, so Hawkeye just went through this huge thing of just killing off a country, pretty much. This
Like, you mean-
huge raid. And at this point, you've got to think he's got like some sort of psychological problems,
Yeah.
right? But when he comes back, they're just, oh, come
Oh,
on
hey, come on,
back.
Hawkeye, you
And
kill
then-
people,
and
no
then
problem.
Paul Rudd, or the Ant-Man, when he put on the time traveling suit, he's like, I'm not sure if I'm good for this. And Hawkeye was like, I'll do it. And it's like, oh, yeah, let's put the mentally ill person in here right now. Because, I mean, they were just like, they just completely acted like he didn't just kill off
Yeah,
a
I mean,
country.
it's kind of strange. Like, they also didn't settle the whole thing of, like, so Captain America was, like, a fugitive of the state for, like, 2 years after Civil War.
Yeah.
And they didn't really address, like, if Ross or any of the government just let him be just Captain America walk around the streets
Well,
and stuff.
in the Avengers Infinity War, he said, and if you come after us, they had that one small scene where it was like, and if you come after us, we're going to fight you. And at this point, I'm sure Ross isn't thinking, oh,
Who
Captain
cares?
America's on the loose. Thanos just wiped out
Yeah,
trillions of people, so I'm sure
we're
he's
at
not
we're at
thinking that.
janitors on the Western Seaboard.
But I am thinking, though, Hawkeye, they're just like,
Oh, yeah,
he's
welcome back,
perfectly-
pal.
he's perfectly fine. Just,
How you been? Hey, you got something on your face there? Oh, it's just blood of my enemy. Sorry about that. Some orphans got in the way of me slaughtering some Akuza.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. I was like, wow, they're welcoming
They're
him
very-
back as if he is perfectly fine, which
Yeah.
he probably has some serious
It's-
psychological problems
It's
right
like
now.
it's like inviting like the DC Batman like Ben Affleck to like a kid's preschool. It's like
Yeah.
this is how you break someone's neck and like uses
Yeah.
a toddler for example. You know, like it's dark.
I mean, at that point, I'm not thinking, you know what? Yeah, he's the guy. Let's send him back in time. He'll do this for us all, you know? But
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah,
I guess he was a man on a mission, which made sense. Any opportunity to get his family back would have been good.
yeah.
My only thing is, my first instinct isn't, oh yeah,
Let's trust him.
This guy's perfectly fine right now. You know, my thing would be, wow, this guy has some problems.
If you just look at him, he looks like he's been through a midlife crisis. He has a
Yeah.
really dumb haircut. Like the back of his head looks so dumb. He has like a full like sleeve tattoo on his arm now. Like
Yeah.
oh, he's gone through bad. Like he needs to get someone to get. He needs to get a haircut. He needs to get like some tattoos removed, like
Mhm.
on multiple places around his body. If you know what I mean.
yeah,
But I mean, yeah. Paul Rudd is so good as Ant-Man.
he is.
He gets drunk as a baby when they try to time travel the first time. We forgot one thing we missed: the Hulk. The Hulk is not the Hulk. It's Dr. Professor Hulk now. What do you think about that?
That was annoying.
No.
Like, that was annoying. I
Come
didn't
on.
like that.
It looks so good. CGI was amazing.
Yeah, first of all, the Hulk barely had any fight scenes.
Yeah, I guess.
Sure, he was funny at some points, but that was the most disappointing part of the
Come
movie.
on.
Was him being, well, no, that wasn't the most disappointing part of the movie, but it was just disappointing. I was like, oh, where's the Hulk? You know, Hulk angry, you know? They could have used him.
That's his catchphrase, Hulk angry.
I mean, they could have 100% used him in that final fight scene with
Yeah.
Captain America.
he looks kind of smaller, didn't he? Like maybe a little bit smaller than he
Oh,
normally
yeah.
is.
Well, that's when my dad pointed out. He said, wow, Hulk looks really small in this movie. I was like, he does. But
I think
that's
it's
because they've combined.
I think it's a good progression though, because like he said, like I always thought the Hulk has like a virus I need to fight back, but like they just accepted both of each other and like you gotta hit that funny. He had a funny picture of like those kids and like Ant-Man's like, want a picture of me? He's like, who are you? I'm like,
Yeah, so
I'm Paul Rudd.
it took wiping the trillions of people in the world to finally figure out, oh, let's just coexist.
yeah, exactly. Took Tony 6 years to give Captain America his shield back. Like,
Yeah.
one Captain America.
What
want
a
that.
jerk.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, can I get that back, please? Like, actually, it's mine because you did kill my mom. Like, I guess, but can I get my shield back, please? No, it's my
Well, then
shield
Captain
now.
America gave up the shield. Like, come
That's
on,
true,
man.
I guess.
I mean, he gave it. He was like, "Oh, that's my father's. You don't deserve it." It's like, actually, it's mine now. Your father kind of gave it to me, but you
Yeah.
know,
You did kind of give
whatever.
it to me after all.
I mean, just some of the funny things. That's one thing I liked about Captain Marvel and her movie was when the guy's like, "Let's see what you can do without your superpowers." She's just like,
Blast.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, why can't every superhero do this? Just, oh, you're nothing without that shield. You don't deserve it. It's my father's. I would have just been like, he gave it to me. suck it.
Give him the
And then I'd
bird, walk away.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, I guess so. It's crazy they didn't include Captain Marvel as like a part of their main time travel team. Like, bring your biggest gun, you know? I mean, I guess
Well, Thor's kind of their biggest gun.
I'm glad they didn't though. I'm glad they didn't have
Yeah.
because like she's the freshman of this class, you know.
And also, she doesn't know any of the past
time travel stuff, yeah.
So, I mean, she really wouldn't have been much of a help
I
in
get
this
that.
scenario.
So I'm glad she wasn't a part of it.
Even though Ant-Man and... No, Ant-Man was a good part because he was able to shrink and...
Yeah.
I mean, Captain Marvel...
She's not subtle.
She would have... Yeah.
She'd
I
be
mean,
like, I'm Captain Marvel, and like 2012, Iron Man would like have a whiskey in his hand, like, oh, listen, sweet
Yeah.
cheeks, how about you go over there, get me a drink, or and like she would like Thanos punch him into the ground or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. She's not very subtle. And then, of course, Rocky Raccoon and the Guardians
Rocky
of the Galaxy,
Raccoon.
they had their past, which is where they got the
Yeah,
Infinity
exactly.
Stone. So, I mean, everyone benefited to that circle. She wouldn't have done that very much just
Mhm.
because she didn't
And there's so
ever
many
encounter Infinity Stones.
exactly so many great details in this movie. Well, actually, she gets her power from the Space Stone. Remember?
Well, I know that, but she doesn't really encounter one, though.
Yeah.
Except, well, she does encounter the cube.
Which she
but
feeds
she-
to a cat, right?
Yeah. So, actually, she probably could have gone back to that time, maybe.
Oh yeah. And
But
just got,
they had just come out with the movie. They're like, we'd rather
Yeah.
go back to the originals.
I get that.
I don't know. There were other possibilities to get her through the time travel, but she wasn't really necessary.
I'm
at
glad she
that
wasn't
moment.
though.
Yeah.
Because I hate
Me,
women.
me,
I'm just
me
kidding.
too.
I'm just
I
kidding.
hate women. I hate them all.
Thor is back, and he's the fat. Let's get to like. What'd you think about that?
That was the greatest thing.
Thor's. I was thinking like Thor is like one of your favorite characters. I'm like, is Timmy gonna hate this or he's gonna love it?
No, I loved it. Are you kidding me?
It-
Thor just going through the crushes. Oh, my mom. Drink, that
Like,
was too good.
I don't have a problem, and like he uses Stormbreaker as a bottle opener. Like just little details like that is so amazing. Like Korg is there, and so is his weird like
they're playing video, and then
They're
Thor's like, "If you don't do this, the God of Thunder is going to come over there and ruin your life." And he's like, "Okay." And then he signs
they
off.
talk on Fortnite or whatever, and like
Yeah.
he's like, Noob Master 69 is back.
And
Cool.
then Thor, even when he's fat, he's jacked. You know what I mean?
Like it's obviously
He looks better fat than me if I were ripped. Come on, man. Like
I
his
mean-
arms were defined and still huge.
it was a good fat suit. It was so funny.
Yeah, that was too good.
Such a good reveal.
And then
It makes sense too.
some
you know?
of his scenes when they're just like, Thor, what do you think of this? And he's over there with glasses on, just back
Is
there.
he asleep?
Is he asleep?
I think he's dead. Like he has like his hand like in his like waistline like pants and stuff. Like he looks. Have you ever heard the Big Lebowski?
No.
Because like Iron Man references him like, watch out, Big Lebowski. Like he looks exactly like him. Like he has like the sleeve. He's wearing sleeveless gloves a lot now, like fingerless sleeve gloves. Like why? But it makes sense for his character to be also depressed because Thor has lost so much. He lost
Yeah.
his dad. He lost his brother for real this time. He lost his mother. He lost his sister he didn't know he had. Then he killed her.
Almost the whole entire Asgard.
He lost his home.
Kingdom.
He lost half of the Asgard when Thor killed them in the beginning of Infinity War. He lost half of them once they got Thanos. So then like a quarter of them are left in New Asgard.
Most people would have gone what he went through after all that when your mother dies. You know,
Yeah.
most people would have gone through that crisis. He went through so much more, so it was about time that he just kind of broke down.
Yeah, because like because it's crazy because he's a god basically. He's
Yeah.
he's an immortal being as far as we know. Like it takes or will take like 1,000 years for him to die, but like he's gone through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Compared to like Captain America was like frozen in ice for 7 years, which I can imagine is traumatic. Being in a different time, but like the problem with being immortal is like you lose so much along the way.
Yeah.
Did you like New Asgard by the
Stuff.
way? And
That was so fun.
That
When
was
it's, like,
awesome.
New Asgard, and they're like at one of the
like
I
a
don't know.
pier or something.
Yeah,
or-
pier. or something.
There's like
And
12
it's
of them
just-
left.
It looks like it stinks. It's just a crappy place. And
Like Valkyrie's like, oh yeah, Thor comes back, gets supplies. She looks like 50 kegs, just like empty and just poor Thor, man.
that was so brilliant, though. I
It's
mean,
so
he was
good.
so funny.
It was so funny.
Chris Hemsworth is just one of the best in these movies. He is just too good.
Like he gets. I kind of do things like he got some crap. Like the second Thor movie isn't great in my opinion.
Sure. Well, because they didn't let him be the
Exact-
actor he is. He's
And
funny.
he's the funny actor. Yeah. So like in this movie, they just let it rip.
Oh, yeah.
like
They're
in-
just like, you do you, man. And he did it perfectly. when they're all getting up, they're all standing up together to like they're about to go to the time travel, and they just have that scene where the theme song's playing. They just stand up and get ready.
They're
and
all
Thor's
slow
just
walking.
sitting over there in that couch with his glasses on.
Yeah.
And cups sitting,
I think it's kind of
sipping tea.
it's strange though because like at one point like Thor's like, "Do you know what's coursing through these veins?" And Rhodey's like, "Cheese whiz." It's kind of strange because there are a lot of jokes about that, but like, is that body shaming? Because it kind of is, and played off as a joke. And I've seen some like articles like, "Oh, how dare they? Body importance is important for people's mental health." Like it is. It's kind of weird for them to play it off as a joke, but I didn't mind. You
I
know,
thought it was hilarious. Cheese whiz.
so mean.
Because it's true.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
he's
Oh
drinking
my gosh.
everywhere. He hasn't. He has a full long beard and hair. Like he has a scar over his eye, I think from a previous movie. He lost an eye. Like
Yeah.
and his eyes are still different colored. He's like, good
And
on
then
him.
when he sees his mom, she's like, "What happened to your eye?" "Oh, it's what all the kids are doing these days."
Yeah, but basically,
he's got a hood on and a robe.
yeah, it looks like
She's
Santa undercover. But
I loved it. I thought that was just brilliant. Him in every single scene. Just
I mean, like he's had so much to do and so much great character stuff, so many great one-liners. I feel like just like comparing his like arc and stuff to like Black Widow is kind of a disservice because like Black Widow's cool and stuff, but like what does she really have to do in the last like 5
Yeah,
movies? You know,
true.
it's kind of like
And no one has ever been as funny as Thor.
yeah. I mean, he
Like
just
since Thor Ragnarok, no one has been as funny as Thor.
and he has the most reason. Like I love that scene between Rocket and him in the last movie where
Yeah.
Rocket's like, "Oh yeah, I guess you have lost everybody you've ever loved." He's like, "Oh, but I still have my left eye." He's like, "Oh yeah, I guess you have one eye left. That's good, I guess." But let's talk about the plan. So the plan, they're all just sitting around like planning, like almost it's like a just eating over pizza, and like almost like it's
Mhm.
like a study council of like, Iron Man's like, "Okay, Thor, you know the most about the ether. Go talk about it." And Thor just like, "Go break it down in scene for me." What does he do? He walks up. He's like, "This is the ether. My grandfather. Oh, there's Jane. An old flame of mine."
That was just too good.
Just seeing him break down for everybody, like Hulk is like cutting his, like giving him like the cut off, like
Yeah, just being like to everyone else, stop asking him these questions. He's just about to die.
Thor, man, poor, like it's so funny though. I mean,
He finally broke, and it was the greatest thing.
like
Ever.
Iron Man's like, "Okay, come on, guys, it's okay." No, the only thing in life that's permanent is impermanence. Ah! Cries in a corner.
Too good.
But I love that scene too of like them breaking down where all the stones are. Like at one point they're all just like laying on like a table, and she's like, "Wait, if we go back to New York on a certain date, we're gonna have 3 Infinity Stones at once." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right, because Sorcerer Supreme has one, and so is the Mind Stone and the
How
Space
did they
Stone."
know that though?
At least they know that in the movie Avengers that Loki's staff has the Mind Stone, and that
they
the
know
Space
the
Stone.
cube.
Yeah.
They know those two, but how did they know?
Well, they did know. Remember, because Thor got a card given to him by Doctor Strange that said like 22 Blaker Street, which is where Doctor Strange lived, and Iron Man knows that Doctor Strange had the Time Stone.
That's true. That makes sense.
Like, just so many dark scenes of like Nebula being like, "We must go to Vormir," and she's like, "What's Vor?" And like Ant-Man's like, "Hey, what's Vormir? It sounds fun." She's like, "That's a place where my father decided to sacrifice my sister in a blood pact to get the Soul Stone," and he's like, "Cool, not it." So it's such a good balance, like it's so good.
yeah.
Like no other
And
series.
I mean, there were so many funny parts in there too, leading up to the time travel. Like that taco scene where Ant-Man
Oh,
has the taco and it's full of just meat and lettuce. It looks so good. And then like Rocky Raccoon's ship comes down,
it's like boosh,
and
and
it it doesn't harm the shell at all.
yeah, it
It
just blows,
just
he's
blows.
holding it the perfect way, and then like Rhodey
like,
lands
like-
right next to him. He just crushes it in his own hand, and then like Thor and the Hulk gives him 2 tacos. That was so sweet.
The Hulk just comes over 2 tacos.
The CGI on the Hulk looks so good. Like it looked almost like comical, but it looked like almost realistic. It looked really good,
Yeah.
Like the way he like Hulk gave like a smile, like "Here's the 2 tacos, buddy," and like patted him on the head or whatever.
Too good.
There's too much stuff to talk about. Go scene by scene. I'm quickly realizing, but the whole time travel, I agree, it's kind of like that Flash thing of like, oh well, this doesn't seem complicated at all. And they need is that scene where like Rhodey's like, hey, can't we just go back in time and like strangle baby Thanos to death, and Hulk's like, first of all, that's terrible. But I'm like,
Why couldn't they?
if you have a chance to kill baby Hitler, would you do it, Timothy?
Yes.
You would kill a baby,
Well,
an adorable Nazi baby in his crib, proto-Nazi baby in his
I
crib.
wouldn't do it.
It's a dark thought, but like, like if the greater good, I mean, it's dark, but
Nah, I wouldn't do it because chances are someone much worse
Yeah, 'cause
might have
that-
come from
and that's
it,
what
so-
Hulk says. Rhodey's like, oh, Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Time Cop, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Also, because of the timelines, if they had gone back and killed baby Thanos, that wouldn't have brought anyone back in their timeline. They had to get the Infinity Stones from other timelines, bring them back to theirs, and bring everyone back to life.
Timothy is currently
Then,
pointing at the wall I have in my room of just like a huge conspiracy board connected by strings of yarn of colored Infinity Stones, trying to explain all this because it is pretty complicated. But
let's just say I don't even think Marvel knew what they were doing with time travel. They were just like, you know what, let's just bullcrap this. Let's just give everyone what they want. Let's go back and have these memories of these movies.
And then Paul Rudd's like, what? So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullcrap? That was such a good line because like it's pretty complicated because Tilda Swinton has that talk with the Hulk where she's like, oh, this is time in this singular line. If you take out Infinity Stone, like it ruins my timeline. It creates a splinter timeline. But it doesn't. He makes it make sense. So like but if we put the time stones exactly back after we're done with, we put the Infinity Stones right back to after we're done with them. That means that it's like they were never gone.
Yeah,
continuing the normal timeline
would be perfectly fine. They would be normal.
And that means that Captain America would never have ever had that fight with Captain America because that means Captain America from the future would come back to the current Captain America trying to steal the Mind Stone from the elevator full of Hydra agents, being able to tell himself, give the stones back to the Hydra agents, meaning that it was never stolen in the first place, which means that Captain America will never have a fight with Captain America because that never happened because he replaced him. That makes sense.
It's pretty confusing. And like I said, I think Marvel was just like, you know,
hand waving.
I think they were just like, let's give the people what they want. They want a bunch of memories.
And I love the whole like seeing things from the other side. Like we saw the ending of the Avengers, and we saw like them doing all their superhero posing, and like 6 seconds afterwards, like Iron Man's like, okay, we can do more superhero poses later. Let's get Loki, let's get the Time Stone, let's get everything, you know.
And then they were like, Hulk, take the stairs.
Yeah, and like
it's like, Hulk, take those stairs. And well, I love the scene where Captain America he walks over, he gets in the elevator with all the Hydra people, and we're all thinking it. We're like, they're just about to recreate
before anything
the
happens.
fight.
Does anybody want to get off?
Yeah, we're like, he's going to recreate the fight, and he's like, "Hail Hydra," and then he just walks off
makes
with
complete
the case.
sense. He says, like, yeah, I'm directly from the secretary, who's Robert Redford, who's happens the Hydra. He says, like, trust me, hail Hydra.
I mean,
so
just
good.
brilliant.
So good, like, a callback. Like, because even, like, Ant-Man's like, these guys look so evil. You didn't know they were Hydra? And, like, they were just gruff. I don't know.
Cool.
Thor facing his mom in Asgard, that was so sweet. Because, like, he's like, I'm having a panic attack, and, like...
He's like, oh, I can do this. I can't do this. And then
he just runs away. Rocket has to get Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman was in this movie for like 6 seconds. Did they get her back just to film that 3-second thing? No, come on.
I bet you I feel like with a lot of the scenes, they just did a lot of the same. They just used a lot of the same
footage?
clips.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, do you think they got the whole Avengers gang to do that pose again when they could just use the footage?
I guess so. Man.
I mean, that's a lot of scenes
What a
they
big
would have had to
project.
recreate that they could have just done the same clip for.
They have to create the exact same set they did in 2012 and had the exact same broken glass. Like, okay, these window panes are broken, these window panes weren't. You can only be what you are. Something way better than that, but like that talk is important for him to realize, like, yeah, like I've been through so much, but like I have to realize like who I want to be now, you know?
Yeah.
And then he calls back Mjolnir in the original timeline of 2013 during Thor: The Dark World, so he steals Mjolnir from his past self. What?
That was pretty sweet.
That was dope, though.
Just is like, and we were all thinking, we're like, yeah, he got the hammer back.
Yes,
But what do you think the other Thor in that time?
like he calls back Mjolnir, but he's like, "Oh, gets him screwed," and then like the Dark Elf stabs him or whatever, and he's dead.
I mean, honestly though, what do you think that other Thor was thinking at that moment? Where's my hammer?
Who stole my hammer, Mom? Do you know? Nothing, honey.
I mean, some of these things
'Cause,
that
like,
should have just wrecked their past.
Because like only he can steal his hammer because only he's worthy. You know.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause-
that's not true.
Well, yeah, we
Not
see
only
that,
he
baby.
is worthy.
But I love the symmetry of Gamora offering her hand to Nebula like twice because she offers it once to like the really angry Nebula and then one to the old grown-up Nebula. You know,
Yeah.
I like that.
I thought it was so
Uh-oh.
just stupid when she comes back and it's like, oh, we have all of her video recordings now, you know?
Well, yeah, I think that they should have seen that coming with the whole like cyborg thing. You know.
But then watching all that film, that's a few 100 days of film.
And then
you know?
and you chose that to, like, oh, help me, Thanos, you're my only hope. You know,
yeah.
like.
But and then they acted like they had watched all of the film to actually understand that. It's like that's a few
Like out of context, it seems like really crazy. Like, what is this? What?
Yeah, but and then Thanos is like, "Oh, I did it! I finally did it!" And then, of course, the other Nebula, after watching all that film or having all that in her brain, she's still thinking, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go and
Help my father and stuff like that, or
But because in the other Nebula, the good Nebula, she knows all this.
yeah.
So that's why she's good. So you're telling me this other Nebula who now knows this is still bad?
yeah, because I feel like
That's ridiculous.
because like even like the new Nebula with the gold on her face said to the old Nebula, she's like, "You've seen what we've become and all that kind of stuff." But like obviously like the current Nebula in the past is all still like angry, wants to like worship Thanos.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm glad that we got the final confrontation with Thanos.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I mean,
I'm glad we did too, but I'm also thinking, I mean, Thanos changed his mind. At first he was like, this isn't personal.
yeah.
But then at the very end he's like,
Like,
it is
yes, it
personal. So
is.
his mind changed after seeing
what a jerk.
after seeing the footage. But you're telling me Nebula was just, she had all this information that her dad was going to destroy
Yeah.
the universe, was going to wipe out half of it. She had all of it, that he just
she
completely killed Gamora, and she's just like, "Meep."
Man, I'll just follow my father's
Yeah.
orders. Like what? Come on,
What?
Nebs. Come on, Nebs. You're better than that.
Yeah, come on.
Because like we got to see CGI young Hank Pym, which is crazy. That CGI looks so good, so good.
Who?
So Steve calls Hank Pym in like the 70s to distract him so that way he can steal more red Pym particles. So the guy on the phone's like, "Oh, I gotta go get him" or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
like that's good CGI. Like, did you notice it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe a little uncanny valley, but like that CGI is so good. I can't wait to see CGI Princess Leia in episode 9 or whatever. You know, where it's like, hello, Rey, I love you, beep boop, and she's like, obviously CGI. It's like real creepy, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that movie.
oh, we know. But yeah, so
No, I probably will.
Yeah, we will.
I'm probably gonna
who
get
we
forced
kidding?
to go watch.
who
that
we
movie.
kidding, man? But yeah, Tony talking to his dad. Like, if you need more like hints that Tony was gonna die, like he's literally getting like all of like his plot lines and storylines and like his daddy issues solved. Like,
Yeah.
it was really good though. You know, like
I don't think there was a single person in that movie who didn't know Tony Stark was gonna die.
I didn't. I don't know, man. I
you
guess
didn't know Tony
I guess
Stark
I
was
did.
gonna
I guess
die.
I did. Hawkeye and Black Widow, that suicide off that they like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself. No, I'm gonna kill
No,
myself.
It's me.
It's me. That was awesome.
And then Black Widow killed herself. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we were all thinking, she's not dead. Because we were like, we all know they're coming out with a movie of her. But I guess
Yeah.
it's a prequel. That's what I heard.
And in
It's
that
going to
case,
be a
I
prequel.
don't care about a prequel of someone who dies. Why
Yeah,
would you ever watch
me
that?
either. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, Marvel, you just kind of kicked yourself in the butt. No one cares to see a prequel of a person who's dead. So why did they kill Black Widow? That was so unnecessary.
I think
and then I was like,
it
wait,
was-
makes sense.
It was nice she did it for like Hawkeye's family and stuff.
But even then, it didn't make sense for Black Widow to die in this movie,
Yeah.
except for outside of the movie. Something was going on outside
No,
that killed her off.
I
Yeah,
think
maybe
plot
she
wise
was too
makes
big.
sense too, though.
No one was expecting Black. You're kidding me, right? When they had that final female scene with all the females coming together.
Here we go.
They didn't have the most important female in these Marvel movies in that scene. You're kidding me,
They didn't
right?
have Black Widow, yeah.
They didn't have the most important woman.
The woman who started it all.
Who started it all. They didn't have her. She's been in almost every Marvel movie, and they have this one scene that's supposed to be powerful.
Yeah, we'll
and
talk.
She's
We'll talk
not
about
in
that.
it?
We'll talk about that.
You're
but
kidding
it is
me.
pretty weird, sad, and strange. But I did love that suicide off. I do kind of wonder though, like, cause like first the Red Skull said in the last movie that like, oh, you must sacrifice something you love. But in this movie, it's like, oh, it's gotta be a soul for a soul. I'm like, oh, I'll just bring Bill Cosby up here, kick him off,
I mean,
and then
technically, neither of them. I'm amazed it worked because neither of them sacrificed each other.
yeah,
because
because
they were fighting to jump.
I'm gonna kill myself. No, I'm gonna kill myself.
I'm gonna kill me. That's me.
Kill me.
Yeah.
That was a great
But
scene though.
that was cool when Hawkeye like went through like the same kind of phase Thanos went through. Like he wakes up in the pond and
Yeah.
he gets a. I mean, that was a pretty cool scene
Yeah,
actually. But
man, that's so sad. Because they just show her body like covered in blood. Like it's pretty brutal, you know. Like
Yeah.
her legs all effed up because it's all like
Yeah.
landing isn't very.
and then
soft.
Hawkeye's just up there. He's floating, and then all of a sudden he wakes up and was like, "Oh, I'm in a pond. What happened?"
What happened?
But
I
that
think-
was a good scene. I did
Yeah.
like that scene. I
Good-
was just
good
like,
music.
she has no reason to die. Why did they kill her off?
Yeah, he's got a family. I don't know.
Mm.
He needs to get.
But he's got family, but they're not going to make another movie with him. They
Yeah,
are
I
with
know.
Black Widow.
I love the scene where like they get back and Widow's dead, and like they're all just dealing with it.
They were like, "Oh, Widow's dead." It's like you just lost trillions of people. Get over it.
Yeah, I do. I do think like when Widow did say like whatever it takes. I feel like you can mourn her later, guys. Like bring back everyone immediately and then
Yeah.
mourn her late. Like it is kind of like because they're human, but like when the whole like when you're trying to bring back trillions of people,
Yeah.
like one life doesn't matter. Like you are an entity trying to fulfill a purpose. So don't get personal.
Yeah.
Just do it and then you can mourn.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, my last trillions of people have died. My last, like, oh my gosh,
A widow.
oh Black Widow, she's
Yeah.
dead. Oh, let's mourn her
But,
for
like,
5 days. What? No.
Yeah. It's just because like she was one of the original 6. I think all the original 6 were on that pier, and like Thor's like, "Oh, this is space magic. Maybe we can do something." And just Hawkeye yells. He gets like, "If you want to go fly up to that red ghost guy, you go talk to him yourself. You go fly up there." And then Captain America's like, "What? A red ghost guy? I know that guy. That's actually gabba." But that's such a good moment for him to be like, "We can't fix this."
I'm just amazed they didn't go back in the past and bring her. That's what they kind of did with Gamora.
Yeah. But yeah, this is where it all.
All I'm saying is they had ways to prevent her from dying, and yet she is still dead.
I mean, if
it's got to be something outside
if
of the
Hawkeye
movie.
and Widow like brought Bill Cosby up there and kicked him off the edge, or they brought Kevin Spacey up there, they could kick him off the edge. A soul for a soul,
Yeah.
easy as pie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and then they acted once they got up there like they didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nebula didn't tell them. They had to like
'Cause
waste 2
Neb-
hours
yeah, like
thinking about.
Nebula said like, oh, like Thanos went there with the love of his lovely daughter, and then he came back without her. Like that wasn't a coincidence, you know?
They got up there and acted like, oh,
Oh, shocking! What?
It's like you couldn't have grabbed
Like they can see,
you couldn't have grabbed your dog
they can like,
or something.
they can see like Gamora's corpse. Like, oh, what's that? Oh yeah.
I mean, seriously? I mean,
I guess.
they had no other option. They couldn't have grabbed a cat. Oh, I love this cat. Throw it off.
They
the
could have
edge.
brought in Thor with like a keg of beer, like, oh, sorry, booze, and drops it over the edge. Or
Couldn't. I mean, a soul for a soul. You know, cat has a soul.
Korg could have brought like that weird like alien pet he has and just dropped him. Sorry, pal. Look, I'm Australian, and dropped him over the edge.
They
Or...
acted like they had no idea.
I think that was kind of dumb.
That was dumb.
But I mean, at the same point, like,
Then again, I thought it was dumb with Thanos did. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was like, he loves Gamora.
yeah,
You're kidding
At
me.
the same part, like, I think they're just like, listen, our lives don't matter. There are trillions at stake. Who cares? We're doing this as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Snap the
fact
finger.
that each of them took so much time
Yeah, like
to get it done
and, like,
just was crazy.
Yeah, and before they decided to do the first jump, back in time, like they had all the time in the world to be like, okay, here's a plan, here's what we're gonna do, here's what I remember my
Yeah.
past self doing, but like that wouldn't be a drama, so I
Yeah,
don't mind it that
But
much.
I mean, it's been 5 years. Nothing's happened. No one's coming after them.
yeah, they have time.
They've got time to sit down and be like, okay,
Here's
so
the plan.
basically, not even that. Get a cat that you love.
Do cats have souls?
Yes.
Well, not a very good one.
Cats and dogs have souls. Just
Yeah.
be like, throw it off the edge.
See you, Airbud, fly.
Yeah. I would
Trillions.
sacrifice my dog for trillions of
Yeah,
lives.
And so would like Black Widow. So I think that's the whole crux of it. But then we kind of
I'd sacrifice myself for
yeah,
trillions
and
of
that's
lives.
what Black Widow does. So
Yeah. You had plenty of time to figure this out.
what were they gonna do though? You know, like they.
I just told you. Bring a cat.
That's
Take a
I
cat,
guess.
throw it
but
off
cats
the
don't have
edge.
souls.
Yes, they do.
You always when my cat dog would be like, meow, hello Timothy, you'll be like,
Yeah.
I hate this cat and
My
kick her.
dog has a soul. I guarantee it.
Okay.
So
Ruh-roh.
no. So to sit there and say, "Oh, we had to kill Black Widow," no, you didn't.
Okay.
You just did. But
Mhm.
I'm saying it's probably a bunch of outside stuff because
Yeah, I
they
can
really
see
had
that.
no reason to kill her off.
And like Iron Man has been in so many movies, and he's a big actor still, so like it makes sense for him to kind of be sent off in this one. One thing I thought was,
But even he talked about it's done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done after this. So did Chris Evans. Both
Yeah.
of them said they were done.
And
she has not talked about that.
and they deserve it because they've been in this franchise for like plus 10 years. Like it's a lot of time to dedicate. Like even like Rey, the actress who plays Rey in Star Wars, like she's had to give like maybe like 5 years of her life to all these Star Wars movies, and like then it's like over for a while for her,
Yeah.
But like
I mean, like Chris Evans and Robert's the one who started it all. So
good old
yeah,
Robert.
I mean, he's probably exhausted by now.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies, Like,
I mean, he's been in almost almost all of them except for maybe the Thor movies.
mm-hmm.
So I understand him quitting, and then Captain America has done 3 movies
Yeah, I
that
mean,
have just been a huge load on him.
oh yeah, I mean,
I get it.
Iron Man makes his own Infinity Gauntlet. Hulk Thor's like, okay, I'm ready to do the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm gonna totally
Mm-hmm.
right space of mind, and like, dude, you're so drunk, you're full of cheese whiz, not gonna happen, pal. And they
Let me do it.
they give it to Hulk, and he does it. He brings everyone back, but then Nebula brings back Thor,
Which
obviously,
actually,
Thanos, and
I'm pretty sure Thor should have been able to do it.
because he's the strongest, but maybe the whole headspace thing, maybe he would try to bring Black Widow back too much and destroy her. I mean, he wasn't in a good headspace, so I kind of get it.
I understand that. Well, they let Hawkeye go back, and my thing was they were like Hulk's the only one, but I was like, no, I'm pretty sure Thor could. Thor just took like the sun, didn't he?
He took like an entire dying star
Yeah.
force.
I mean, he
And
could
the Hulk is
probably take that blast.
He probably should have, I think.
I think he should have too, because
Maybe-
honestly, he might not have been in tip-top
He was
shape.
probably drunk, but
He was probably drunk, but like, still, he is the God of Thunder. He probably could have taken all.
I
of
thought
that
they would have.
crap.
I thought they would have called back Captain Marvel for her to do it. Hulk does it. He gets his like whole arm burnt. Poor guy. I really hoped he used his his least dominant hand,
Yeah, that one.
because I hope he's not a righty. I mean, like you. I mean, can you snap with your left hand? Let's try it. All right, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy.
Or like, what if like you put on the gauntlet and it's like, guys, I don't know how to snap.
I don't think they wanted Hulk to fight. Here's why. So, do you remember? So, all of them together almost beat Thanos when he had all the Infinity Stones. Not even all of them together.
Like
Like
half
that
of
one
them.
scene with Iron Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy, they almost held him down and took the Infinity
Yeah.
Gauntlet from him, and he had all the stones.
He didn't
So-
have all of them. He didn't have the Soul Stone at that point.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
He
5
has-
stones.
He didn't have all 5 stones. But this one fight scene where he has none of them, he looked more powerful
No,
than when he had all
we'll
the
get to-
stones.
we'll get just before that.
Well, I'm just saying, if Hulk were in that, Hulk, along with Captain America with the
Yeah.
hammer, with Thor,
and
with
like
Iron
Ant-Man and with like
well, not even
Rhodey.
any of them. That one fight scene with Thor, Iron Man, and Captain
The
America.
original 6,
if
like with
Hulk,
Hawkeye,
if
yeah.
Hulk was in that battle, they would have beaten him.
Yeah. But yeah, so they did, Hulk does the snap. It's all good. A bunch of hummingbirds show up. So they know, it definitely
they
worked.
should have beaten him. I take that back. I recant that statement. They should have beaten him. But knowing
Yeah.
Marvel, they had a bunch of crap that's
Okay, yeah.
unnecessary.
So let me finish. So then Thanos just like bombs like the entire HQ, which I do think that like while Iron Man did have like all those like metal blinds go down or whatever, like I feel like Iron Man would have like a cool like Asgardian style like force field around the barrier, like at all. Nothing.
I didn't really think about that. I mean, I guess he probably should have.
mean-
It would have been wise to think, oh, there are a bunch of,
The-
angry, evil villains out
Yeah,
there.
like,
Might as well protect
The
us.
Avengers like had a tower in the center of New York, which they luckily moved because that's a huge target on the city of New York for like interdimensional threats. But like, yeah, like if Thanos comes up, which Iron Man's been like afraid of for the past like 10 years, like I think he would have got, hey, Thor, can I have some Asgardian force fields? Like, oh, sure, here you go.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that was kind of dumb because I feel like that would have made sense to have some kind of force field or something. But it destroys it, like utterly destroys it. Like Iron Man, like Rhodey's armor's all messed up.
Well, and they kind of skipped over like a lot of the.
You can adjust your mic if you want, like push it forward if you want. Timothy's currently hunched over his mic. There you go.
They cut out a lot of information. Like the only thing they gave us that suggested how
Everyone's
Thanos got back into that world was Nebula grabbing that red stuff from the other Nebula. Otherwise, how did they shrink the ship to get through the time?
Yeah.
How did she get them in there?
I thought maybe it was implied like that since like Nebula gave like Thanos the magic wristwatch that was like the quantum space like GPS. I'm assuming that maybe he like plugged that wristwatch into his whole spaceship, and that's how he was able to. I don't know.
But they didn't give us any of that. That red. That was only enough to get one person across.
It was
not a huge
It was
spaceship.
enough for one jump. They said that. They never specified one person for that as pin particles.
One jump, but you would have to shrink the ship. You would have to somehow get that ship in there.
But did they shrink the ship or did? Yeah, because I
they
guess
did. Remember, it was small when it was traveling through time.
Yeah, pin particles are really powerful though, because that is kind of a logic thing. But it's space magic and quantum
I'm just saying
theory.
they didn't give us enough information on how they got through the time portal.
Yeah,
and then
it's super science. I was able to kind of just pass it, but this is a good point.
Well, I can pass through it. There's a lot of stuff you have to pass through in this movie, but I mean, obviously, it was great.
Why
but,
is the Hulk green? I don't get it.
Yeah,
but like just 3 people, just Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man are all just gonna try to beat Thanos. Just like with Thanos only has that double blade sword, which is pretty cool. Yeah. The spinny thing.
Which they should have beaten him.
By the way, I liked how he was wearing like his full armor. Like last time, like Iron Man fought Thanos. Like Thanos had like his like wife beater on, like his like sleeveless tee.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he had he was wearing his cool armor. But yeah, so Thor like he calls the thunder in. He gets his cool black costume back, and he gets Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. What?
Yeah. What a great
so
all-around scene.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thor, like his eyes turn blue. He has double wielding now. What?
Yeah.
So good.
If only he were actually in shape.
Yeah.
At that point, he would have just annihilated.
Did you think that when he lightning striked himself, whatever, that he would flash back his abs or something? Or
I was hoping.
Yeah, me too. But like I saw him like from the side, like he's definitely still Santa Claus
fat. He still looked like, even when he was fat, he still looked like he could have done one push-up and his abs would have been just
maybe
popped right back in.
Yeah. But man,
that was a great scene. I was like, man, I hope this is the final fight scene because this is.
I
would
have been satisfied with it. Like, it would have been cool to have like the original 6 Avengers, like including Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and Hulk. Like
just all go at him.
The original 6. That would have been good to see. I wish that was a thing. I would have been kind of satisfied.
I was fine with the final 3 because. I mean, after this, how many more movies is Thor going to be in?
They're head honchos.
And then Iron Man is going to be done. Captain America is going to be done. So they kind of picked the 3 that they're done.
It reminded me of in the original Avengers movie, the fight between Iron Man and Thor, and then Captain America interrupts their fight. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's good. That's like they've come so far. Like Thor gained 300 pounds. Iron Man's got cooler suit.
And then Captain America became worthy.
Yeah.
That was. I think everyone was so
yelled.
Hyped at that.
Like for a second, I thought because the hammer was thrown and stuff, I thought it must have been Thor. I thought for a second like it was moving on. Must be Captain America. But then like when I saw like it came to him, like that was.
I think we were all so hyped.
That was so good.
I mean, I was like, yeah! I have never screamed in a movie, and I did it right then. I was like, yes!
But that fight, just the 3 of them, was so good. Like Thanos held his own pretty well, which is kind of annoying.
Because Captain America
He's just a
He
guy.
threw some harsh blows at that
Yeah.
man.
So,
that
like,
he just like, hey, let me just get up from this one.
So Thor is kind of fat still, and Iron Man kind of gets knocked out. So it just ends up with Captain America versus Thanos.
Oh, but I watched the fight scene again. So, like you said, he throws the shield, he throws the hammer, and you remember in the first Avenger that, like, when Thor knocks the shield,
yeah.
it like
Boom.
gives Thanos like a, it was like a concussion, and then Captain America grabs a hammer again, slashes him up with an uppercut.
Uppercut, yeah.
He then takes a lightning strike from like underneath the ground
Yeah.
and does another uppercut on him with the lightning strike, and then brings down a huge
lightning bolt,
pile
yeah.
of lightning.
I
on
think
top of it.
maybe Thor had 2 of them. Maybe he should have done some more lightning bolts there, pal.
But my only thing is, those were some harsh blows.
Yeah,
and
like,
Thanos just took them
at
like
the point
they were
like,
nothing.
Thor, like Cap did like one where he hit his shield with Mjolnir like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have just gone through his chest and just X-ray Mortal Kombat at his head off.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he had none of the Infinity Stone.
yeah,
At this point, he's just a good fighter.
yeah,
He's powerful, but at this point, he's just a good fighter.
Just a
he's
guy
He's
still.
not really anything.
just a girl.
So some of these blows that he took, that he just got straight up from, I was thinking, at that moment, okay, they're obviously going to bring everyone back.
Yeah,
because
he's a titan.
this fight scene should
Like,
be Captain America grabbing the hammer and then just
Yeah.
ending it right there, just been like, yeah, that did it.
Absolutely.
That did it.
I wish that every time they just use his hammer, that immigrant song would just start playing, from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I wish that so bad.
Yeah.
Captain America gets his shield just wrecked. It's so sad. Like seeing I mean, it's not Valyrian steel or something, but I didn't think that anything could pierce his shield. Like it's vibranium. Wait,
Apparently
vibranium.
Thanos'
Oh,
sword.
Thanos. Captain Marvel's a woman, so she's strong enough to.
But I mean, out of all the metals in the world,
Yeah,
Thanos just
come on,
happens
man.
to have one that could destroy
Yeah.
vibranium.
That was so sad, though, seeing his shield get smashed up. I don't know.
I mean, Thanos is so powerful, even without the stones, I guess.
He's a titan, whatever that means in this
But
world.
why does he need the stones? He could kill off half the planet
It
without
would take
them.
too long. There's a lot of universes out there. I don't know.
I mean, he just kicked their butt. He just took some of the worst blow
Yeah,
in the
in
history
Iron
of
Man,
blows.
Iron Man just went down with 2 punches. Wait,
Yeah.
what? Iron Man, get back up!
I mean, even Thor the man,
He's
literally,
fat. I don't know. I mean,
But-
he's a little out of shape.
Thanos is a titan, and I get that. But even in the comics, Thanos can be beaten.
Yeah,
And so, but without having this, so what you're telling me is Thanos is so powerful, it takes all 5 Infinity Stone to beat him.
I guess so. 6,
That's not
actually.
true. That's not true.
I mean, we discussed it earlier. The whole Star Lord being like, "You killed Gamora." They
Yeah.
had him.
They had him, and he had all 5 or all 6.
all 5 at that point.
Yeah.
I think because he didn't have the Soul Stone from Vision's head yet
Wait, yeah.
when he was on the planet. Yeah.
So he had most of the Infinity Stone,
But
at that point,
there were
and
just
they
3 of
still
them.
almost beat him.
I believe if Ant-Man and Hawkeye were there, they could have taken. I would have been cool to see the original 6, but I was too sad because what happens next? Everyone comes in through through wizard portals. So good, right? Everyone, you see all of Thanos' army rocking up, and then Falcon says on your left, and then what? Everyone comes back. You got Bloody, you got Doctor Strange, you got the Asian guy who knows Doctor Strange.
What I thought was funny was, so I love that Black Panther comes out, but he's the first one to come out. And I would just be thinking, if I were beaten up at that moment by Thanos, I would be thinking, where's Doctor Strange?
Yeah, give me some heavyweights here, pal.
I mean, Black Panther would be a great guy to come through the door, but no, I would even want Spider-Man. Legit, I'd be like,
Can I get a couple of Hulks, please? I mean,
yeah, is Doctor Strange coming back or something?
But luckily, Black Panther brought all of his armies that were
well, thank goodness,
who
yeah.
were Thanos as well. But yeah, so we get everybody who's not dead, right? Everyone except Vision basically is back.
I would have been like, is Samuel L. Jackson around somewhere? Please bring him. We
Yeah,
need him.
Tell him to bring a nuke, please. That'd be really useful. But man, they bring everybody's back. Falcon's back. You got bloody Doctor Strange back. You got
And it was so cool how he enters because you just Captain America looks beaten up. They're just about to send his arm, and then he hears the Falcon's voice, and he's just like, and we're all like, no, we're all like, and then the portal opens, and we're like, who is it? Doctor Strange.
Just Black Panther.
Black Panther.
I mean, they all like, imagine just Black Panther. I'm here. I'm the captain now. He's like, actually, I'm Captain America. It's my thing. Hope you don't mind.
I'm the captain. But hey, I was happy to see him because I was like, hey, listen, man, Captain America. I was like, hey, listen, we're all losing here, so we need whoever we can get at this point.
But yeah, so like the armies of even new Asgard, like the Asgardians that were Thanos, I thought it was kind of sad how Hulk couldn't bring back the half of the people that Thanos killed before he got all the stones.
Yeah.
Remember, the Asgardians have had a really bad lifespan on the MCU because half of them were wiped out by Thanos at the beginning of the movie. Then half of that half were atrophied by the snap. So like that's
true.
They've had a bad time.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's back.
And I mean, I'm telling you, there was no louder moment in that movie than when, I mean, not even when the Black Panther entered, which I thought was going to be it.
Yeah.
Not even when he entered. When Spider-Man entered the room,
it was
everyone cried. I mean, except for me. I was like, oh,
great, here's good. I had that. I did have that reaction though. So when Doctor Strange comes to the portal himself, and Mantis and Drax, I'm like, oh, everyone's back, and then like Star-Lord rockets in, like, oh yeah, the guy who ruined everything. Hey, how you doing, pal?
Yeah,
all the fans hate you.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, Gamora should want to fall in love with him. No, doofus, you ruined that. She basically gave her life for the good of man.
Yeah. Oh well,
you killed Gamora.
Poor
dude, you were going to.
Poor Star-Lord. He's gonna get he's got some redeeming to do in his next movie. You know?
Yeah. I mean, even I hate him at this moment. I mean, he's like.
He ruined everything.
And then he thinks, oh, I'm the leader of the stars.
Leader, yeah.
We'll get to that too, but I thought I was seeing with him and Thor was really funny.
So the final battle. This is the final battles to end all final. Like, Hope is back from Ant-Man stuff. Like, by the way, do you notice that every time, like, since like, in the original Iron Man, like his face mask just like opened,
Mm-hmm.
But like now it's like everyone like kind of has like a V-neck style thing where like all their helmets just appear around their neck.
True.
Like at some points, like Thor, like has like all of his hair and beard out, but then the next scene, like he has his helmet like come over his face. But where'd all his hair go? Wouldn't his hair just like snapped up and all that?
It got braided and stuff once he.
But I know,
got
but
his
like
hammer.
when they first time traveled though, like he's wearing like even like Hope and stuff like has their hair like out, like how do they like? It's always I like that as like images though of like them having to like show them like fist bumping and then like their helmets coming on.
My question is, how did Hope know what was going on? She was like in New York, right?
She was in like San Francisco where she just got ashified, so she would be like in that parking lot.
So
where
she just wakes up and she was like, "Up, gotta
time
go
to battle!" And
time to battle.
There was a little time. It wasn't instant, like where Doctor Strange could be
True.
like, "Hey, no time to explain. Come with me." And she's like, "Okay,
that
great."
makes sense. I mean, I understand that, but I would be thinking, the Black Panther showed up in his whole army. I was like, yeah, great. Where's Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
And then he shows up with his army. I was like, that's the army I want backing me.
But like. And Ant-Man got super big, became a big Ant-Man again.
Yeah, we were all like, yeah.
And then Valkyrie's riding a Pegasus. Where'd she get a Pegasus? What?
Oh, no. That was such a great scene.
So good. So final battle's happening. So the goal is kind of like turns to kind of like a football game style thing where they need to get the Infinity Stones back to that
but you forgot the best part of the movie.
Oh, what is it?
When he says, Avengers.
Someone's
assemble.
So good.
And then Thanos with his mighty sword that is apparently more powerful than any of the Infinity
Valerian
Stones.
steel.
He's like, go after it.
But like them clashing, like Ant-Man just punches one of those giant like floating snakes from the original Avengers in the face, just like punch and just like that's like this like and you just see like. You see the line of everyone, like literally everyone, going towards the enemy, and like rockets like riding Rhodey on the back, and like you see all the people who are flying, and you see just like Spider-Man like swinging like on nothing. I'm guessing just in the middle.
Oh well, then I mean, of course, another thing I would be thinking is where's Scarlet Witch, and she finally like in that beginning scene when the Black Panther comes out, and Doctor Strange, we're like, oh yeah, but it's like, oh, where's the Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, where's the good people?
We could really use her.
Yeah.
And then she shows up and no one's clapping. I'm like, are you kidding me? We need her.
Yeah.
She's the only one who can probably help.
But so much happens in this fight. So much good
Which,
stuff.
by the way, she can't just grab the ship and throw it down on the ground?
Like the big ship?
Yeah, she could have just
That's a
do
pretty
that.
big ship.
Well, Captain Marvel just
Oh, she's a woman, so.
No, not even that. Scarlet
yeah.
Witch, you're telling me she's not powerful enough to
But
lift that ship?
she literally almost killed Thanos. Like
She almost did.
She had him like in her flotation thing, and then Thanos is like orbital drop, and he's like, "Sorry, what about our troops?" He's like, "Screw it, blow
true.
it all up. Too many women out here." And he's like, "Okay,
Well,
boom, boom, boom."
we've got to talk about that one scene.
Oh, okay.
How did you feel about
So
that
much
scene?
happened, but yeah, this is the one scene I was like, "Huggle." Okay, so here's.
I don't think there was a soul in there that wasn't.
I don't
like,
know. So here's what happened.
Except for
so,
my sister, but she's a liberal. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, what are you going to do? But so Spider-Man he's holding the Infinity Gauntlet or Iron Man's Gauntlet or whatever. He's like, he's got like a bloody nose. He's like, oh, I'm freaking out. And then like Captain Marvel shows up. She's like, hey, how's it going, kid? Hi, I'm Spider-Man. Hey, and then Captain Marvel's, and then he's like, I don't know how you're gonna get through all those misogynistic men. I mean, those guys up there. And she's like, don't worry. She's not alone. And then every woman in the MCU shows up.
No.
Shuri, like the Black Panther lady who's from The Walking Dead, the Lady Witch, yeah, Scarlet Witch was there. Like every woman.
No, not every woman.
Not Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Black Widow, the first woman ever in a superhero movie, wasn't there. That's kind of lame. That's pretty lame.
so bad. Like that's
It's
so
sad.
bad.
It's sad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, women empowerment without the most important one of us in here. Yeah, woohoo.
Yeah. So.
Come on, Marvel, you screwed that one up big time.
Yeah.
But like, what did you
I
think
guess.
about? Wasn't it cringy?
I mean, you can make kind of the example of like, well, when the first fight happened with Thanos and the three guys, there were no women in that three trio. But at the same time, like to grab but at the same time, there wasn't like every man in that shot.
Yeah.
So like in this shot, they made sure to get every single person who is a woman in that scene. Like it maybe like it would have been funny if maybe just like Rocket Raccoon's there too, or like Groot, or like it pans to the left and like just like Groot's there for no reason, and being like, I am Groot, like just to make it
something.
funny, because I feel like that was like a big slap to the face of like, oh, we are women, and like if they had Rocket Raccoon, it would have been funny and it kind of excusable and less cringy, you know. But that was pretty on the nose there.
But that was so cringy. Like I was just like, Marvel, why did you do this to yourself?
Girl power is real power, if you ask me. But I mean, like it was like seemed pretty on the nose.
It was so unnecessary. That's all I'm saying. And if you're not going to have the most important woman character in the Marvel universe in that scene, who cares?
Yeah,
Come on now, seriously.
I mean, it's definitely sad. I mean, that Black Widow wasn't there, but yeah, that
they ruined that scene. I was just like, Marvel, I get you're trying to be political and you're trying to
not
show
political, but like just equal. I mean, they were trying to be political. I
You're
guess.
kidding. You watched that scene and you didn't think, "Wow, this is the most political scene of this movie I've ever
You can move
seen."
your mic in front of your face if you want.
It's right in front of my
your face. Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
literally talking right into it.
Okay,
I don't know how much closer I can get to it right now.
Nice.
But no, you can't.
You're
You
so
can't
angry.
come out of there and say that wasn't political, which I actually appreciated because what it did for me.
gives us some ammo to fight those women,
Well,
am I right?
No. What it did for me is it just told me that why this is the final Marvel movie I feel like I should watch and just be done. Because what Marvel just made a statement of is the rest of our movies are going to be political.
No.
We're going to have political views in them. That this was the final movie that I feel like wasn't full on political in Marvel, and they have made a statement that they are going extremely political in their movies, and so I'm done. I'm done with their movies.
But so like what? So that means like Spider-Man: Far From Home is going to be like, oh, this is a political thing on.
I bet you they're
Europe's economy.
yeah,
Something like that. I mean,
I bet you they're going to add something about immigration in that.
No
movie.
way.
I bet you.
I will bet you $10 right now, cold hard cash, that they will not like if there's
I
like
bet
a
you they're going to
Taken.
have something political.
There's
going to
be no like Taken style like, oh, Europe really is a dangerous
they're
place.
They're going to have a gay couple. They're going to have a transgender couple in there. They're going to have something about immigration. They're going to have something about female empowerment. I am willing.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I guarantee you, they're going to have, and it may just be slight, but they're going to have something political in that movie.
I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, this movie definitely did have that moment, which was like, I mean, at the same time I was watching it, I was so like engorged, man.
Yeah.
I was so like crazy about all this stuff happening, like, oh hell yeah. But so like it was a good point for me to be like, yeah, feminism, women are the best.
But
And
I
just-
mean, and then think about it. So like, I mean, the next Captain Marvel movie. So like, what are the next few movies? It's Ant-Man. He's gonna have another movie.
yeah, but I think the only thing on the docket right now is Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man. We're assuming Captain Marvel's gonna have another movie. Of course, that's gonna be political.
Yeah,
I guarantee you,
yeah.
Spider-Man's gonna be political. Ant-Man is probably gonna be political.
No, Ant-Man's not gonna be.
It was kind of
you think
political.
Paul, you
in
think
the
Paul
last
Rudd's
one.
gonna look at the camera and be like, yes, racism is bad, and then and then
Yes. Did you get you got the hints of immigration in Captain Marvel, right?
what with the allegory of the krill and
Yeah.
the green people?
That's exactly what that was.
That's just as a
No,
plot device.
you're. I don't think you understand how you're oblivious you are to some of these political.
I am so
things.
oblivious.
No, you are. Do you know? You did hear about Captain Marvel before she made her movie. She said, "I don't want white men to judge my movie." You did hear about that, right?
I saw. She said. I think in her own words, like, I don't want to know a white man's opinion on A Wrinkle in Time.
Exactly.
Even though it was a crap movie.
Exactly. Come
Um,
on, man. She made it political, and she is making these Marvel movies political. She is turning this into a politically based movie series, and I don't care for it.
All I'm seeing is you currently digging yourself a grave and not getting hired for a job if this every podcast ever gets out there.
I don't
Because
care.
I love women. And moving on. So
No,
that
but I'm
final
just saying,
battle.
I'm done. I'm done with Marvel after that. It was a fantastic movie, great way
Great
to
series,
end it,
yeah.
But I just think at this point, I'm just kind of done.
I agree with like the whole thing of being done, but like I do not think they're gonna have like Ant-Man 3 be like, oh, I guess racism truly is
It
bad.
probably won't be racist. It'll probably be something about feminism.
I guess. Okay.
I mean, think about it. The Wasp.
She just happens to be a woman, Timothy. It's not sexist.
No, I'm not saying it yet. I'm saying they're going to
They're
do
going
it.
to. Okay.
I'm saying that's what this signifies. You act like I'm saying, oh, it's happened. It hasn't happened.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
So what was
that's what I'm saying.
What was the politics in Captain Marvel, for example? Then
Captain Marvel. Oh my gosh, all the hate on men. Are you kidding me?
no, men.
She literally hated Samuel L. Jackson. The fact that she comes back and she's like, what's his name again?
Fury.
Where's Fury? You hated the man.
No,
you
she
literally
was.
acted like he was
She
a
was
dumb
charming.
nut. Are you
kind
kidding
of.
me? Oh my gosh.
I mean, she was charming as she mansplained authority. That was pretty
No, you're
entertaining.
see, the thing is, no one listens to these, so I could care less what people hear about it.
I don't
So,
know.
but you're acting like people are actually listening to this.
What, to our podcast or what?
Yeah, I'm just stating like my opinion.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
But you're over here. You're trying to hide your opinion. You can't say you got through Captain Marvel and thought, "Oh, that wasn't political at all."
I mean, I think it's definitely a weird balance. I think when people say something is political, it almost becomes political in other people's eyes. So for like Captain Marvel, I stay out of politics because it's boring. I watch Marvel movies because it's entertaining. So when I see Captain Marvel like beat up a guy, I'm like, well, that's just something that happens in the plot in this superhero movie I'm watching.
No.
So
Beat up a guy is very different from all the just crap she gave Samuel L. Jackson in that movie. He would be like, well, how about this? You stupid son of a gun. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. No, we're doing it my way. That is the epitome of political.
But she's an alien and he doesn't know what to do in this situation.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is her lack of time on Earth is the reason she treats Samuel L. Jackson like a piece of absolute crap.
No, but like
She treats
Samuel-
him like he is just a douche.
Samuel Jackson doesn't know how alien stuff works, so she has to tell him the truth and how things work in as an alien and stuff. You know,
You can do that without acting like the man is stupid.
I guess, but she's very.
She turned all of the most serious character into she made him the funny character of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, you can't get out of that movie and be like, oh, that wasn't political at all.
Okay.
Now, did it bother me? No, because I needed.
Sounds like it did.
No, it told me about the future of Marvel. That's why I said I liked it, is because Marvel is being honest. They're telling us about their future. These are their future plans.
I don't.
They're
I think
going
this was
political.
a fluke. I think Captain Marvel was a fluke, where like now everyone like you and me are like, oh, I can't believe women are superheroes
so
now.
give me one good reason besides political base why they had that woman scene in there. Give me one good reason.
With Captain, with in this movie, with like everyone fighting and stuff,
with just that one scene with all the women where they all come together,
all work together.
Give me one good reason why they have that scene without it being political.
All right. I think that when they had all those women, when they had all those beautiful, independent, strong,
except for Black Widow, of course.
Well, yeah, she was dead. Sorry. When all those women together, I think it was just. You're right. You're right. Fine.
I'm right.
It was political.
You can't give any other reason.
Well, we've wrapped it up. Avengers Endgame is feminist propaganda. We're shutting down the podcast, changing our names, moving to Guatemala.
No, don't take feminism. Say political.
Political.
That's all I'm saying. It's becoming political. If they didn't add that in there, like, I'm fine with having women superheroes. I'm just saying you didn't have to have that scene.
I agree.
It was unnecessary.
We can agree that Endgame is feminist.
Like, I
It's
wasn't
feminist
mad.
propaganda.
I wasn't mad when Captain Marvel came down and destroyed
That was
Thanos'
dope.
ship in one blow. I wasn't mad at that. I was like, oh, she destroyed his ship. Great job.
That was
you
cool.
know, thank goodness. We kind of needed you because apparently Scarlet Witch isn't powerful enough to do that. But
She was, but then she got nuked
Yeah.
by the thing, which is
True.
so annoying.
But so I was like, oh, well, thank goodness. I mean, Thor's out of shape, so of course he wasn't going to go up there and try anything.
And they had that moment where like Thor and Cap were like using their opposite things and like, oh, you get the small one here, trade.
Yeah. But I mean, I was like, yeah. I mean, we kind of needed you at the moment, so thank you for coming
Yeah.
in and helping. But that one scene, it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it
literally
was.
so
It was.
unnecessary. That's all I'm saying.
This is a long tangent. Yeah, I agree.
mean, that's all I'm saying.
but
man.
like
hate me if you want
seeing-
ladies who don't listen to this.
what? No, plenty of women, equal opportunity.
Yeah.
But see, like Scarlet Witch like positioned the giant floating snake thing, and then Valkyrie like rode on her Pegasus and just like slashed it all. Like that was like there were some dope things in this
There were
thing.
some great scenes in there.
Like
yeah.
Falcon like stabbed a guy with his wings. Like his wings are so cool and like malleable, they can do anything.
Mhm.
Like
No,
what a
it was a fantastic movie.
what
no
a good
doubt.
final battle, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was awesome. And then
And then Iron Man.
Iron Man like took the stones, he died. I mean, like he
I
like
don't
you
know
know
why Captain Marvel didn't do it.
yeah,
I
you,
kind of wish she did.
she got power stoned out of existence, I think, by Thanos because she dropped because that was good. It was good. Like she had a fight with Thanos, like a full
Yeah.
power Thanos, and like you know she held her own pretty well. Like she like he tried to headbutt her, but just bounced off her forehead.
Which I gave Marvel credit for. I was like, well, at least Marvel's not stupid.
Because like when she was fighting Thanos and like was getting the upper hand on him literally with the gauntlet, I'm like, oh my gosh, if she defeats Thanos, Timothy's gonna hate this movie. But
Timothy, there are thousands
Yeah,
of people.
thousands of people.
There are thousands of people who would have just been pissed.
but yeah,
if
Thanos
she had won that battle.
Thanos grabs like
Not just me. Don't
yeah,
put me
I get
in
you.
that
I get
boat.
you. I'm not putting you in the boat. But I'm just thinking like,
Marvel's
oh,
not
Timothy's gonna hate this.
Marvel's not stupid because and I was perfect. I was like, you know what? I kind of hope she takes the Infinity Stones and uses them because then she'll die.
No, oh, she'll die. Oh wow.
You weren't expecting that
I
one.
wasn't
were-
expecting that. I'm like, oh, this guy, he's really turned a new leaf. I think he's really appreciated the woman. Oh, he just wants her to die. Okay, that explains it.
I wouldn't mind it. I don't care for another Captain Marvel movie.
You misogynist
I don't
pig.
think a lot of people care for another Captain Marvel
Well,
movie.
I don't always believe in misogyny, but you know, in your case, I'll make an exception. But yeah, so a big fight happens again. I think like Cap gets like knocked out and stuff, and it just, I mean,
So you liked it though? You would have you wouldn't have minded if Captain Marvel had won the battle.
Oh, I would have minded. I'm just,
so you can. You're
I'm just
sitting over
thinking-
here acting like the upright.
yeah, I'm
Poli-
the perfect
and
man.
then it's you're sitting over here acting like, oh well, you're a misogynist, but I
How
don't-
dare you?
And then it's like, oh, so you wanted that then? No.
I mean, if that happened, I would have just been so happy of how upset it would have made you. I'd be like, oh, this is great. I can't wait to run this. And like, when like Timothy's like, oh yeah, I think Captain America is my favorite character. I'm like, oh, but
It
Captain
couldn't-
America couldn't
you
defeat
have to
Thanos.
understand.
Only Captain Marvel could. How do you think about that, Timothy?
It couldn't have upset me any more than when Captain America gets the hammer and just goes full out on Thanos, and Thanos is just perfectly fine. to beat him.
Awesome big battle though. I loved it when like Spider-Man hitched a ride on Mjolnir, like with just spider webs. That way he could get carried by the Mjolnir.
yeah.
I really like that. 'Cause,
That
like,
was pretty
I
funny.
wonder if you can just like attach like a spaceship to Mjolnir and he just fly away and
Yeah.
support people and help immigrants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like attach Mjolnir
Just
straps like
throw
a
the hammer. Try and
Yeah.
stop it now.
Mjolnir. I like Thor's new like axe hammer thing, but like just seeing like Mjolnir like spin and stuff it's such
The
good to see
hammer
that
is
again.
so
you know?
much cooler.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is. It really is. And because like at one point Thanos like even used the Stormbreaker because like Mjolnir has a thing of like if you're not worthy you can't pick it up, but Stormbreaker like anybody can use it, you know?
Yeah.
Which kind of
And
sad.
I was just thinking how much cooler would it have been in Infinity War when Thor comes down with the hammer.
Yeah.
If he had made another hammer.
Here comes the hammer.
Not actually an axe. So that was kind of disappointing. But I was glad they brought the hammer back in. That was the
Yeah.
most satisfying part of the movie was when they brought the hammer back in, and I was like, yes. Thank goodness.
At one point Spider-Man activates kill mode, which is still
I'm
in the
amazed
all the
Captain
suits.
Marvel couldn't lift the hammer, to be quite
Am I
honest.
bloody right? Because you left wing politics. Am I right?
I mean, I'm amazed she didn't lift the hammer and just start beating the crap out of it.
Oh, man, if she picked up Thor's hammer and killed Thanos, you would be so mad.
I would have been mad.
No, because you love Thor, you love Captain America, and if Captain Marvel got Mjolnir and killed Thanos
But you
with it,
forgot what I said at the beginning of this. I said when I went into the movie, I said no political thing is going to ruin this movie for it. And it didn't. I still love the movie.
Yeah, I love it
I
too.
would still watch it 5 times in a row, unlike Captain Marvel, which I will never watch again. I will watch this movie plenty of times
Yes.
and not let that part
skip
care.
the Captain Marvel
because
parts.
I told you, I knew there was going to be something in this. And honestly, I was like, when you sent me that text, I was curious if you were actually joking or not.
About if Captain Marvel's in danger, because
No, if Captain Marvel was going to win off of feminism. You were
Yeah.
like, hey, guess what? I'm going to spoil it for you. Captain Marvel wins the movie because of feminism. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even know if he's joking
I
or
texted you
not.
that before you watched the movie, so you're like, "Oh, Captain Marvel gonna win?" Ah.
No. I was like, I have no idea if he's even joking or not. This could be legit, and
Yeah, I
I better
don't know,
prepare
man.
myself for it.
So
No, I wouldn't have been that mad if she had won. I would have laughed because there would have been an outrage of
you
people.
wouldn't have been mad if Captain Marvel uses.
You did see the ratings on Captain Marvel, like the movie, right?
I didn't know. Is
Yeah,
it bad?
there was about before the movie even came out. There was about 33,000 negative reviews about her movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, go.
They had to cut like 20,000 to get the score of Rotten Tomatoes above 50%.
Girl.
They had to cut reviews because she had said specifically before the movie she didn't like white males, or that she didn't want white males to be judging her movie. So all I'm saying is she, at the end of the day, I would not have been shocked if she had won.
I mean,
if she had beaten him in the movie.
Yeah, man.
But it would have dropped.
What
Like,
about-
it would have
Yeah,
dropped.
yeah. People would have been so like there'd been T-shirts, like they'd be like, "That's not my Marvel Cinematic Universe."
The movie would have gotten below a
Like a
50
10 on
Rotten
Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, come on now. Everyone, you can't say anyone in there was like, yeah, Captain Marvel better win this thing for him.
Oh, man,
there was
okay.
not one person in there who
we
wanted
just hit 2-hour mark here, but the final end, Iron Man dies. Pretty satisfying way, I think. He dies with
Yes.
with Piper Potts right
They
in
sent
front
him
of
off on
and
a good note.
I mean,
I think.
last thing he said is "I am Iron Man," and all the thing that constitutes, and the fact that he won't give up, the fact that he can't rest until his job's done.
Mm-hmm. And then I thought the final scene during the funeral, I thought the saddest moment was when Happy was like, what would you like? And she's like,
Cheeseburger.
I want a cheeseburger. And I just thought, oh, the first movie, that hurt my soul. I don't think I cried at all in that movie
Yeah.
until that one scene where
She was so cute.
cheeseburger. And I was like,
Because
that broke my heart.
It's funny too. I don't know if it's a reference because in the first Iron Man, like when he gets back from like Arabia.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what they did it off
So, yeah,
of,
like-
because he's like,
Yeah.
because my sister didn't get it. I was like, in the very first movie, he gets back and he said, I want an American cheeseburger
Yeah,
and I want a press conference.
Yeah, he was in a cave for like 9 months. Like, first thing I want to do, I'm gonna get cheeseburger, American cheeseburger from
Yep.
the U.S. of A. And he's like, your dad like cheeseburgers,
Which broke my heart. I want a cheeseburger. I was like, oh no.
Dude, let's get some cheeseburgers after this. I'm hungry.
Yeah, sure. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start bawling.
She was such a cute little actress. She's like, shit. Oh, it's so cute. Bad words are fun.
Oh man, what a sad moment.
But Iron Man's death was really great. I just
It
love,
was.
like,
Send him off on a good note.
yeah, Tony Stark's done. Iron Man's done. Robert Downey Jr.'s done. He did a good ride. Good, like, I like, just look at his arc compared to like Luke Skywalker, which like Mark Hamill wasn't too happy about his storyline. But like,
We'll always remember Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
as
great.
Iron Man. And then, of course, that wonderful scene where they send him off and then just all the
everyone's
characters. And then Samuel L. Jackson comes out and he's looking at him like, man, I'm amazed he didn't say, like, F it.
What?
I don't know. Just one of his signature
I was,
cursing lines.
Yeah, I was hoping he would like be holding the cat that took his eye and like petting it and stuff. That'd be really cute.
That would have been great.
One thing I saw, of course, at his funeral, like Peter Parker was there, but also his aunt was there. And one thing they never talked about after Spider-Man: Homecoming or Infinity War.
You think Tony Stark ever hit that?
Oh, absolutely. He definitely gave her like an HIV or something.
Something like that.
But Aunt May, she found out that Spider-Man, obviously her nephew is Spider-Man at the end of Homecoming.
Yeah.
And like they didn't address it in this movie or in Infinity War. Because like I wonder if they're gonna address that in Far From Home. They better.
Well, they're probably just gonna wait until the next Spider-Man movie to
like
address that.
That's like everyone finding out Bruce Wayne's Batman and not addressing it for like 3 movies.
I mean, because honestly though, I don't think anyone they cared to put that in any of these movies.
I mean it makes sense. Obviously, they're gonna spend 10
but they're
minutes
probably
about-
gonna put it. I don't know.
It'll be in Far From Home probably. I'm hoping.
Well, the problem is it was kind of over by the time Infinity War started. So are they going to do a part of Infinity War with that?
Like with Far From
Because
Home
that
or
scene
what?
happened in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Then Infinity War happened, which means they already had that encounter.
Exactly.
She already
So, like,
knows.
So there would have been a talk where Peter Parker's like, I'm
So are
Spider-Man.
they going to go back before Infinity War and have
and
that?
have like a flashback?
Yeah.
I think they'll have like a really short conversation of like, Peter, we talked about this, blah blah blah, kind of fill in like that, during.
I don't think you should be wearing tights.
But yeah, so that whole funeral is great. Like compare like Superman's death to Iron Man's death. Like Iron Man's death feels like something,
Yeah, well, because everyone loved Iron Man and
Yeah,
Superman.
Superman's a
We were
murderer.
all like, oh, great, now we'll actually get a good movie.
Yeah. So then.
No offense to Superman. I do like Superman, but he and Captain Marvel, they do the same thing with their movies.
What'd they do? Big punch
Yeah,
fight?
Actually, well, no, basically, they've got such a great build-up. The storyline is pretty good. They've got such a great build-up. They've got some good action. And then they come in with full-on power, and they end the movie in 5 minutes. It's like,
Yeah,
wow, what a
I get
waste of
that.
all of our time.
Like Justice League. Like compare this movie to Justice League. Remember that trash fire?
Justice League was like a 2, and this movie was like 100. So I mean,
Maybe
they weren't even.
maybe like a -2.
Like I said, I would rather watch. I would rather watch
All right.
a twerking sumo wrestler
Ooh.
on a continuous loop than watch Justice
All
League
right.
again.
Here's your choice. You either have to choose to watch the full movie of Captain Marvel or Justice League. Which one do you
Captain
choose?
Marvel.
What? Really?
Captain Marvel was better than Justice
Really?
League.
Wow.
Justice League was really bad.
really bad.
It was really bad.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Are
Congratulations.
you really?
man. I thought you keep saying like I think like 30 minutes ago you were like, oh, I'd never watch Captain Marvel again.
But I'd watch it over
Justice League.
I'd
I
watch
guess
over
so.
Justice League. Like, you don't understand. Like, Captain Marvel was bad, but it wasn't like it wasn't horrendous until she started telling me don't judge it. And then I was like,
I get
well,
that,
I'm
okay.
going to judge it. That's why I come to a movie, to judge it. So you can't tell me not to do that. But
Yeah.
but all political part aside, it still wasn't a great movie, but
Captain
it wasn't
Marvel wasn't or
Yeah, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, what a pile of trash. Justice League was
Yeah.
trash.
Moving
Was
on,
trash. So was Batman vs Superman.
yeah,
I would rather
we've
watch.
talked about that way more too many times. But
Yeah.
so what do you think of Thor?
I'm sure we've got another podcast or
Yeah,
something.
we do have something
with
in
me
there.
bashing that.
Yeah,
movie.
I'll be there right with you, man. I'll be holding the trash bin. You can light it on fire.
Just bashing those movies.
But apparently, what do you think of Thor kind of going with the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, is he going to be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie? Like, what do you think about that whole pairing and stuff?
Well, that may be the only Marvel movie I watch is one with Thor.
yeah, I'll
in
watch
it.
that.
I'll watch one with Thor in it because he's just too funny. So if Guardians of the Galaxy has him in it, I'll watch it.
Like it's.
I may not go see it in theater, but if my dad buys a movie, I'll watch that movie. So
Yeah, I mean, it even said like Thor said like, "Oh, we're a team now. We're the Asgardians of the galaxy." That's actually a comic line too, because
Yeah.
like it's so funny how you built that up.
Well, I thought it was so funny when Thor's like, we all know who the leader is. And then they just had that brief moment, and then
Like,
Star Wars,
moving on.
Star-Lord's eyes just like,
Yeah.
like, is
So
it?
good.
And then Thor looks at us. He's like, oh, no, it's you. It's you. Of course it's you. I thought that was too good. What a way to end. Oh, no, it's you. Because, like, obviously Thor could destroy him into a million pieces.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that when he's like, we all know who the leader
Yeah.
is. And
That was so
Star-Lord's
good.
just like, yes.
The antenna lady was like, "Yes, use knives." But so good. This is so sad. Like Peter Quill's storyline is so sad because like Gamora, he's searching for Gamora now. You know, like that was the thing. He was on his computer, like he was like it said searching ... for Gamora. So like Gamora like doesn't have the memory because since the Gamora that we have now is the Gamora from the past who hasn't even met Star-Lord. Like she knees him in the balls and she's just like, I dated this guy seriously. She's like, you had the options of him or a tree.
Which is kind of stupid because she did watch all the film, right?
Wait,
Nebula
who did?
has.
All the memories of like, oh, this is a pic. This is yeah.
Like from what it sounded like, Thanos had watched almost all the memories, so Gamora didn't watch them with him, and she didn't see all of that.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. I feel like that maybe they'll explain that. But also, did you notice that Nebula killed her younger self, but then she didn't turn into ash because of time travel, right? So Nebula shot her younger self, but like Nebula's in the present still around.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, also going back to that scene with Gamora and Star-Lord, so she knows that he thinks they're dating.
yeah.
So when he comes up and touches her cheek, she had to knee him in the balls.
She had to.
She knows she knows he has no idea that she is from another self. So she's just like, oh, he touched my cheek. Let me.
How dare you?
Come on, you could just be like, listen, I don't really know who you are. I'm a different Gamora. She had to be like, oh, you're stupid.
Oh.
We definitely don't need you for this fight. So
Yeah.
let me knee you in the ball. What?
Twice.
What?
Like
Come
it
on.
would have been better maybe if like he hugged her, and then he like separate like he like kind of held her arms, and then she kneed him in the balls. Cause like give him a second of pleasure here, cause like not like that, but like because
Yeah,
like
just
he thought you were dead.
I mean, come on. It's like, oh, you're stupid. This is the guy I dated. So you knew you just had to knee him in the balls?
Twice.
Come on now.
Poor Star-Lord. He's like, first of all, like
That's where I felt bad for him. I was
Yeah.
like, he doesn't even know.
all the
And
fans
she
hate
just
him.
nailed him in the balls.
All the fans aren't liking him now because he ruined Infinity War, and now he's just sad for himself because the woman he loves doesn't love him anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
What a-
and just straight up, she
That's
didn't
a
even
sad
give him
arc.
yeah, she didn't even give him the time of day. She was just like, oh,
See you later.
This guy touched me. Let me knee him in the balls. What? Come on now. He didn't know.
And man, that's such a sad thing. Like, and like Nebula is with the Guardians at the end. So like, where's Gamora? Is she just like, hey, I'm gonna go see Nickelback. See you later. I'm like, where'd Gamora go? Strange.
Yeah, she kind of left. We have no idea what happened to her. But
Speaking of-
I get it. I was like, my only thing was, if I were going to pass it off to someone, I'd pass it off to someone with similar abilities.
or superpowers at all.
Exactly.
Give it to Bucky.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Give it to Bucky. But I guess Bucky didn't want it. He's like, oh, I'm not powerful enough to hold the shield.
No, you have.
I mean, imagine Bucky with the shield and with his
and
arm.
his arm.
I mean, come on
That's
now.
like double. Like you're
I mean,
super safe at
I
that
just
point.
don't get it. Like the Falcon having the shield.
He's just a guy, you know. I mean, but Falcon, like, if it went to Bucky, that would make more sense because like Bucky has a metal arm and he has a metal shield. But, like Falcon already has like his own abilities of like a jetpack and
Now,
like the wings.
It does
and stuff.
make sense because Bucky is kind of a hated person at the moment.
By
I
like
guess.
fans. What do you mean, like by the,
Well, no,
the community
well,
of the
no,
world?
by the world. So him being
Yeah.
like the American patriot,
That's a
I
good
guess
point.
would be a problem. And then the Falcon guy is, I mean, he did fight in the army and stuff like that. So it makes sense. But at the end of the day, I'm also thinking you want to give it to someone who's got similar powers, especially since you want to have another Captain America who's
Yeah.
supernaturally powerful. and Falcon's not that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like even like Sam's like, if it feels like it fits on somebody else, and like I feel like a lot of people like I don't know, like crazy people are gonna be like, that's not my Captain America. But I mean, obviously,
I'm perfectly fine with him becoming Captain America.
Yeah.
I just thought you would give it to someone with a little more power. Otherwise, you're not going to have a very
Exact-
good
and, like,
movie.
it is kind of strange where like you can't just pass the mantle, like you can't pass on Darth Vader's mantle onto Jar Jar Banks, like
Yeah.
not to compare those anything of like race or anything, but it's strange. Like, well, Iron Man's a woman and she's Latino now. It'd be kind of it's a strange thing to jump to.
True. Well, and I mean, I don't think there's ever going to be a better Captain America
Absolutely.
than Chris Evans.
Killed it,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I mean, literally, he looks the part.
You ever looked
There's
at-
never going to be a better Captain America than Chris Evans, and I think that is what they were trying to avoid with Falcon, is like with the Winter Soldier or Bucky, he's very physically similar to Chris Evans, and it would be like they're trying to replace him. But
mhm.
that's not what they're doing with Falcon. They're not replacing Captain America. They're just
reinventing, kind of, or
just kind of making a new superhero,
Yeah.
I guess. Like
he happens to also have Captain America's shield, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, because he's probably going to keep the wings. He's probably going to have the shield
Yeah,
and
ju-
stuff.
just-
So he's
yeah.
going to be a whole new superhero.
Kinda-
They're not trying
kinda-
to replace Captain America.
Kind of like how Rey in Star Wars, like she's not a new Luke Skywalker, but she also just happens to have his lightsaber.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
So it's and I think that's what they were trying to do, is they were trying not to copy, replace Captain America, because Chris Evans is kind of irreplaceable at the position at this point,
yeah.
because he did it extreme, just like Robert Downey Jr.
Perfect
I mean,
for the role.
they may give his Iron Man suit to his daughter. Like his daughter may become another Iron Man. We have no idea.
What did you think of?
If that would be crazy, but like we have no idea. She's not going to replace him, because no one can
replace him.
Robert Downey Jr.
What did you think of Pepper Potts rocking her own Iron Man suit?
I thought that was sick.
It was cool, but I feel
Yeah.
like, does she have training and stuff? And
I mean, I'm sure she has done a little bit in the suits.
yeah, it's been 5 years maybe. So
I mean, she was in one of them at one point in the third Iron Man.
oh yeah.
I mean, so I'm sure he wasn't like, I'm going to build 1,000 suits and you're going to have no idea how to use any of
Yeah.
them and you're my girlfriend. I mean, I'm sure he was prepared. Now, I don't know where she got the suit.
Well, he mentions he made it.
Oh, wait. No,
His
no,
little
I don't know
his
where
little
she
girl
got-
was wearing the mask. Remember?
Yeah.
She's like, I will destroy you. She's wearing like her the
Yeah,
blue mask.
I guess he made Pepper Potts a suit just for the heck of it. Why
Yeah,
not make your
I love-
girlfriend a suit, you know?
I love how almost like the suit like helmet design almost has like girly eyelashes and stuff. Like
Oh, yeah.
it could have just been like a normal looking suit that's just blue, but it has like it has womanly features.
If
Like
anything, that was pretty misogynistic.
yeah,
Are you assuming all
like-
women have
am I
eyelashes?
right? Am I right? Think about think about Spider-Man going back to his high school. So people were still in high school after he left and was Thanos. So they're 5 years older, maybe out of high school at this point. So now he's 5 years behind. Was Ned Thanos? That's really complicated, but yeah.
I have no. Their school system's probably wrecked by now.
Yeah, a lot of things
They're
are probably
like,
wrecked.
Are you a senior? I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to like in far like this is like do you remember the movies after the first Avengers movie where like in Thor 2 for example, Jane kept saying like you were in New York, like with the Avengers, like people kept referencing that constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope like this is a big like everyone was affected by Thanos. So like
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm just kind of done
like
with Marvel. Is because after this, like
what do
the
we
whole
want?
universe is a wreck.
Yeah.
At this point,
just end it here and hope it got better.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do because the school system is whack. They like
School system is
They-
whack, man. Am I right?
well, true, but like in that system, the school system is now completely
the
messed
economy is in the
up.
dumps.
It's in the dumps. I mean, yeah, they defeated Thanos, and it's a beautiful scene. End it right now, because otherwise,
yeah, and
are you just gonna naturally assume Spider-Man's world is just perfectly fine after that? No.
But I don't want to see like Ant-Man struggle with depression that he missed 5 years of his daughter's life.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, he did. He
Man,
missed 5 years.
Man, there's a lot of stuff.
Actually, he missed like 20.
Yeah, it seems like 20 from her end, all right?
Yeah, but
I think
otherwise, I just feel like this is a good movie to end it on.
End it
'cause
all.
After this, I mean,
screw Spider-Man Far From Home because like this feels like such. This feels like when you have a fireworks show, you end on the biggest firework. It's the hugest thing,
Man.
and then You say amen.
I said amen.
And then like Far From Home feels like pew, like
Yeah.
a baby little firework after the end.
Is there a release date for it?
I think it's like 2 months from now in summer probably.
Yeah, they're not giving us enough time to just.
You just take it in, you know? Like,
I mean, I'm still in shock,
like-
just kind
like
of from this movie.
Star Wars Episode 9 is gonna like end the main saga. There's still gonna be Star Wars movies afterwards, but like series like Game of Thrones, for example, is ending this year as well. Like series need to know when to take a break and when to end. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like now is the perfect time, right?
I mean, I get it. You want money, but you just made a
so much
buttload
money
off of this movie. You don't need. You don't need to make it.
Think about how much like your parents and me and us personally have just like. I've seen 21 Marvel movies, at least in theaters. I must spend at least like $300 in tickets by now for me personally. Maybe
Yeah.
200.
I haven't spent that much, but I've spent a good bit of money on. Well, because I watched the first Iron Man on DVD.
Ooh, me
And I
too.
watched the Hulk on TV too. So I mean, a lot of them I never watched in theaters. I didn't watch the first Captain America. No, I did watch
It's
that.
just
in
a lot,
theaters.
you know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't plan to see Spider-Man: Far From Home like opening day and spend $15 for a ticket. You know, like
Yeah.
there was no end credit scene for this movie. Like it's all over. You know, like
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'm okay with it.
End it on the no credit scene. That would be so cool. You've had all these end credits.
oh
And then the final one is when Thor with Iron Man's hitting the metal. You heard
yeah,
that hitting the metal sound? It's a representation because that's the first time Iron Man was building his suit.
I guess so.
in
Yeah,
the very first movie, which was
just-
such a cool.
I wish
reference.
a good end credit scene that might have been okay though is like everyone in Wakanda like eating shawarma. That would have been kind of cute or something like that. You know,
Shawarma?
shawarma.
What's that?
Is that sandwich the thing they ate at the end of Avengers in 2012?
yeah.
But like maybe have it so like
Yeah, just everyone piled in.
everyone like in the
everyone
tiny shawarma shop in like New York, but maybe like have the original 5 like be able to eat shawarma again together. That would have been cute, but I didn't eat it. You know.
No, I
Well,
was like, no
wait,
end credit scene. let's do this.
Original 5. There's only like 2 now because like
Yeah.
I
I was
Iron
just gonna
Man's
say,
dead
Black
and
Widow's dead.
Thor's.
Hawkeye just went on a killing spree. He should probably be in jail by
Oh,
now.
yeah, he should be in jail. It's like you know what, Hawkeye, go live with your family, even though you've murdered countless people.
He should probably be in prison by now.
They didn't show that part of the movie. We're like, oh my gosh, Dad, you're home. The cops are here. Run! Beep, beep, beep. And
Yeah.
like,
Oh no, I'm sure like every Asian who had turned it to dust, they had woken up and had seen their country and had just been like, "What the heck happened here?"
Dad, where are you? Oh no, Hawkeye killed you. What?
I mean, honestly, I love Hawkeye, but he should be in jail by
He
now.
killed a lot of people. It sounds like
He should be in jail.
they're just criminals, so it's okay. Though, so.
No, I think they said he killed
He was a
innocent.
serial killer, so
Yeah, he just killed innocent
Oh,
blood.
Charles Manson family came back. Let him off the hook, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he should be in jail. Black Widow's dead. Captain America's old and an old fart. Iron Man's dead.
Like, but I think it is. I think
Thor's fat. I mean,
it's all over.
honestly, at this point, that wouldn't have even worked. They would have all been done.
Yeah, man. I think we've recorded about as long as an average Marvel movie. So I think this is it. I'm Drew,
I am Timothy.
and Avengers Endgame, probably the biggest thing we're ever going to see in
And
our lives.
we
and,
hate women. I mean, we
we love and support women. Bye.